That music.
Hey. Yeah, you like that?
I love that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Johnny wrote that. For those that don't know, Johnny wrote that music.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at the clock, realizing that that took a minute and 21 seconds to get to.
Yeah, really quickly. Yeah, the reason I do that is because I give people a chance to jump in, and like if you ever watch like a YouTube premiere, when those start, it'll give you 2 minutes until it actually starts.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm not even invited to those. I'm that D list,
D
minus list.
Yeah. Basically, it's time to let people get the alerts, let them jump in, let them see. Oh, they're starting soon. Grab their seat. Grab some. I was going to say popcorn, but it's kind of a joke now.
Hey,
that's our band. It needs to be. Music is seriously our lives.
How do you guys it might be easy for you to make fun of our art.
Come on, man. Popcorn the band is like real serious metal.
It is.
It is.
It really is. And also, very, very seriously, thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our sponsors. It's the wrong card. Crap. Well, thank you to these people, but extra special thank you.
Or executive producers, the bosses.
Yes, the executive producers. These are the ones.
The highfalutin money people.
Yeah.
Hi, Steppen. So shall we thank them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see. Thank you to our executive producers, the people that make this show happen. Charles Green, Mike Neese, Robbie Johnston, Connor Johnson. See, I did it right this week.
Yeah.
Robbie Johnston and Connor Johnson. Music Therapy Laz. Now, wait, Connor Johnson, he's 5150, right?
Yes, Connor Johnson 5150 is a thing.
So I actually fucked it up. So it's Connor Johnson 5150 and Robbie Johnston Continuing on, Music Therapy Laz, David Ennis, Michael the Captain Smith, Thomas Santiago, and some Dave dude who I called this week.
Nice.
Are we good?
And that's it?
Are we?
I always think at the end of the show, there's a much longer list to read.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well just do those. Get them over.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, we might as well thank our channel members. Here we go. Hal Face, Thomas Santiago. Really?
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, no. Oh, okay. All right.
We promise we're going to do a show for you guys today. We promise.
Redtube.com. John Mancuda Furry.
Oh.
Pornhub.
Not yet.
Damn it.
No, we're over 2 minutes. We can mention Pornhub now, right?
Oh.
Do we want to read the other cards, or do we want to get to roll call?
Oh no! No! Part of the deal that those cards are at the end. Those
at the end. All right.
Yeah. See, this is it's good to have a professional involved in the show, Johnny. Thank you.
Thank you for reining us in, Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what else? Welcome everybody. Talking guitars and 80s metal. It is 8:12 p.m. Eastern Time on May 19th, 2020.
All right.
So
let's do a little roll call.
All right. Let's see. Let's say hello to Thrash Metal and Fun Riffs, Janice Lala. I'm not going to do a BLK jacking guitar nut. I know what you're saying. Papa Blue, Dwight Bailey, Cobra Kai Platoon. I like that. Jeff T, 7/8, which I believe is our friend Jay Hannon. Everybody,
it is
John
Gizmachi.
Yep. Crazy Cook 678. Hugh Caldwell, Thomas Santiago, Mark Dillon. Who else? Did I already say Jeff T? I think I did. James Severin, James Gum, Citizen Kane, which with two Z's, that means they must be in a band. Citizen Kane tonight on Heavy Metal Tuesday. Dwight Bailey. I don't know if we got them already.
I can't believe Heavy Metal Tuesday is happening.
Oh, heavy metal! Oh, look at this! Somebody is calling my phone right now. Is
that the fairy? The tooth fairy?
This is the tune. This is the theme for
tonight. It's a lovely night for sex.
And thank you, 802 Blues, for becoming a new channel sponsor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. All right.
And so here we are.
That's Thomas Santiago, right?
Who, 802
We
Blues?
mentioned Thomas Santiago.
Thomas Santiago upgraded his membership.
Thomas Wilczak. I'd like to say hello to him. It's actually, is it Wilczak or Wilczak? I think it's Wilczak.
Is it wilting sack?
Really? And Tom, hello, Tube Supio. Mark Blankenship. Was that the comedian? Wasn't there a Mark Blankenship was a comedian?
I'm not sure.
I think there was. Chris Bevan. 802 Blues. John Windsor. Boy, there's a lot of people in this time. There are a lot of people in Papa Blue. Welcome to the...
We'll
the
fix
80s.
that. We'll
86.
fix that.
86 people here.
We'll
Yeah, not
fix
bad.
that.
Yes. That's what Lemmy... I used to love that when Lemmy would come out. When Motorhead would come out. Is everybody here to have a good time? We'll soon fix that.
Fruitcake Tony's been using those emojis. What a greeting. Thank you, brother. There's like giant guitar picks and a big John Mancuda sticking out and just a whole mess of cool stuff on the emoji scene. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
And James Gum, Dwight Bailey, Janice Lala, Steffi, Headstock Harem, Papa Blue, your mom. Mom's watching. Or is that your mom?
It could
Is
be
that your mom, Johnny?
She watches later.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe it's my mom. Somebody's mom. I'm really grateful for that. Anyway, welcome everybody to Talking Guitars and 80s Metal. How was your week, guys?
I've had well, I wasn't here last week for a couple of different reasons.
Let's discuss that.
Well, it's been a weird. It was a weird day last Tuesday. I'm trying to trade. I have an old 2004 Dodge Ram pickup that I've had for 16 years, and I got a new truck last December. So I'm going to trade the truck to a guy on the West Valley, which is 40, 50 miles away from my house, for a Harley Davidson. And the model and all that stuff isn't important. What is important is my old truck needs a Freon shot, so it doesn't have really good air conditioning. And it's over 100 degrees here already. So driving back and forth 50 miles in a truck that's 130 or 140 degrees inside is, well, it's a sweat sauna for a guy like me. So I drove out there and was dealing with that situation. The bike had a technical issue that necessitated us bringing it to a dealership, which is a nightmare in and of itself. Long story, unnecessarily longer. Came back home. As I came home, I had a friend of mine that needed me to pick up a piece of furniture that she got on OfferUp. She happens to be my musculoskeletal therapist. She's basically a massage therapist, but not like happy ending style. She's like a legitimate, like therapeutic massage type, manipulator type person.
Happy ending, baby.
Yeah. Well, she has met my dog Ace, who occasionally makes an appearance on this show. Lemmy is right
sad
next to me
beginning.
here.
Ace gets a rub and tug every week.
Yeah.
You ever had a sad beginning massage?
Yes. Well, that's her meeting Ace has been a sad beginning every time.
Oh no.
So Ace, he drooled on my shirt, by the way. That's not tit sweat.
That's not drool.
That's my dog. That's my dog's. So I've got Lemmy. She's right there. You can see her right there, just sort of laying there. She's chill. But Ace is a little bit on the overprotective side. He's a rescue, and he's got a little bit of socialization issues. And the first time he met my massage therapist, I'll just use that phrase, he got nervous and nipped her hand.
Oh my God, she's reaching for daddy's junk. I better bite her.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'm sure she's into the biting, though. She'd probably be into that.
She's biting daddy's nipple.
Not at the level that it was. So she shows up at the house. We stop at the house to let the dogs out before I bring this furniture over to her medical practice. And she goes to walk into the house. I go, "What do you think you're doing?" She goes, "Well, I'm coming in." I go, I got to let Ace out of his crate, and he's going to be unleashed in the house. That's going to happen. He's got to go outside. He's going to have full roam of the house, just so you know. And she goes, "Well, that's cool." I go, "You realize the last time you were here, he bit you?" And she goes, "Well, there's always got to be a second chance. We got to give it a second chance." I go, "Well, this is not going to end well for you, just so you know." So she
likes the biting. She likes the biting.
Yeah.
It's a thing. She actually like brings a little leather crop with her and says, "Well, I hope it doesn't happen again."
Well, here's the thing. What you don't know about her, and I mean, we might as well get into deep psychoanalysis of her. She's done suspension art, which is where they take you and they put
sex trapeze.
Steel hooks into the skin.
What is she, a Cenobite?
She's had that thing where they basically, between your shoulder blades, they pierce your skin with hooks and chains, and they suspend you from steel beams and then swing you around.
And then Pinhead shows up when
it's
totally Hellraiser. She's playing with the puzzle box.
Yeah, so she does. By the way, there's a girl out there in LA that does it. Her name is Danny Danger. You might want to Google Dani Danger. She's got a mohawk and she's super hot. And she's got like a subdermal cross underneath her skin. Like
Jesus.
She's a really nice Jewish girl.
She'll tug my sack across the room and stretch it out.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So if you Google Danny Danger, if anybody wants to Google her, she was originally from Phoenix. She moved to LA to do movies, and I'm sure she's doing movies. But so Allison has had that done. That's my massage therapist's name. And Ace comes out of the crate, goes tearing down the hallway, and jumps up on her to say hello. Well, she flinches and he grabs her hand, and basically it looked like, the scene in Jaws where it just gets like that. That's what it looked like on her hand. She's bleeding all over my kitchen.
Like a Tasmanian devil attack.
Yeah. So as it stands, I wasn't, as all of that was going down, I'm like, I got to go do Mancuda's show. I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think the amount of blood loss. So what we've learned is you don't want to come to my house. Yeah.
My balls!
Yeah, so you don't want to come to my house unannounced.
Jesus. He's got my sausage. It's not a jerky. Good boy. Paul's like, I just paid $200 for this massage, and I'm getting nothing.
No, she was good about it, because I was like, do we have to go to emergency medical care? Because I mean, literally, she was blood all over my kitchen. I mean, I have a roll of paper towels that on the top of it, it's just all blood dots on it and stuff like that. I didn't throw them out because they're still paper towels. I still need them.
Yeah, for the lawsuit, absolutely.
Well, no, she was cool about it. She's cool about it, and it's her own friggin' fault, because I warned her a bunch of times. She should know better. But
yeah, the good news is she gives the devil horns. The bad news, she's missing 2 fingers now. That's the bad news.
She's going full on Jerry Garcia.
That's great.
That's horrible.
What? He's dead.
No, I meant about
he's dead.
I meant about
I'm not dead yet.
Not dead yet. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not horrible. What it is that's his job. His job is to protect Daddy, but he just didn't. He wasn't protecting me. He was so happy to see her. She recoiled, as you do when a 100-pound dog jumps on you, and at that point, he just grabbed on, and he was like, "Okay, that's not happening."
Yeah, now she's trying to masturbate with no fingers. She's just like this. She's like,
yeah, but look at the bright side. The scar tissue is probably an abrasive.
That's great. She'll clean up her pots and pans.
Yes.
Let's just say a couple of hellos in the chat. Let's see. Metal Soda, how you doing, man? And I just passed someone. James Gum brings up, do I have any of the Hellraiser series? Am I pumped up for the new HBO show? It's probably an anthology. I haven't seen anything in the new Hellraiser show. I mean, I'm jazzed for it when it comes on. And hey, James Gum, how are you, brother? But yeah, no, that should be good. I mean, nothing as good as Paul's torturous massage therapist, but
Poor girl. By the way, here's the master of the death machine right here. This is the guy that created such mayhem. Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy. Are you a killer? Are you a deadly killer?
Cujo?
He's a deadly killer, right, buddy? You're just a deadly killer. Yes, I know. Yes, kill me. Yes, I know. Vicious. Did you just burp? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Was that a burp?
It was a huge burp. Yeah.
She's probably still tasting fingers.
Nice.
Excuse me.
By the way, you brought up the Hellraiser thing. If anybody hasn't seen it, it's on demand now. If you haven't watched the Watchmen series that was on HBO, it was fantastic. Really well done.
Really good. And they're all wearing masks already, so it's safe to watch.
Yeah, it was as dark as the movie should have been. The original movie should have been. It was still pretty dark, but this was really, really dark.
It was good.
Some loose ends that they didn't tie up. And there's not going to be a second season, which kind of sucks. I
don't know about that. Have they announced that already? Or
yeah, they announced it wasn't going to come back.
So
I'm guessing somebody else will pick it up. Netflix or Hulu or somebody is going to pick it up because
that's too good to leave. That's too good to leave.
Great critical reviews.
Yeah, and if you haven't read the book, obviously the graphic novel or the miniseries, Watchmen's fucking one of the best things ever written in comic books. It's amazing. Time Magazine has it in their top 100 books of all time.
Yeah, it's basically the story, the original Watchmen story. For those that didn't know, and I'm not giving anything away, it's basically about aged superheroes who are not dealing well with their middle age and their back history and the things that went on behind closed doors and behind the scenes. Everybody has this idea of what superheroes were. The original storying of superheroes being all virtuous and stuff, and nothing could be less true in this one. It's pretty cool. It's a good story. So if you're looking for that kind of a show. And you're into sort of superhero movies that aren't really superhero movies. It's really sort of a black thriller.
Yeah, it's not a racist thing. Yeah, it's not like Black Lightning Falcon and Black Goliath get together and no,
it's not like that at all. Yeah, it's not blaxploitation.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And it's a real life take on superheroes, and it's really well done. It's a good one. It's really good. So give that a shot.
But I imagine the Hellraiser's probably, if they do the Hellraiser as well as they did Watchmen, then it's absolutely worth watching. And let's face it, is it on HBO or Showtime?
I think is it HBO or who put that out there?
What is it?
Hellraiser.
The
new TV series. It's going to be, I'm sure it's a limited series.
Brian, if I got your friend request, I probably approved you already, brother. If you're sending me a friend request on Facebook,
HBO,
Jonathan Mancuda.
HBO, it's going to be. So very few of those HBO sort of limited series are bad. Obviously, the first season of True Detective was beyond brilliant. Unfortunately, ruined by the following two seasons. But Boardwalk Empire goes without saying was a fantastic show.
Sopranos minus the ending.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back. Everything that HBO does on those limited series tends to be very good. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Thank you, James Severin. You rock too, man. Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff on HBO, and if you haven't watched Watchmen, just give it a shot. You got nothing to do, but not while the show's on. After the show's over, give it a watch.
Later. By the way, Mancuda, you missed a fun time on Saturday. We delved into the musical artistry of one Jesus Christ Allen.
Oh, really?
Yes,
G.G. Allen.
Yeah, and Brendan B. Squared has "Suck My Ass, It Smells." It's stuck in his head now. It's a little ditty from his album "Freaks, Faggots, Drunks, and Junkies" that we were able to dig into, so to speak, after the show went off the air. And
with two fingers.
Yes.
If you guys out there aren't familiar in our audience, G.G. Allen was he was a rocker, but he was very, very over the top, shock value. He would shit on stage, then rub his face in it and eat it, and just sing with shit on his face. I mean, just total scat play and craziness. He'd jerk off on his drummer and just that type of stuff.
Arguably the worst musician that's ever lived.
And he left his body. He left his body, go figure, to the Museum of Death in Hollywood. So they either have it or are getting it. I know it's.
I would have thought it would have went to the Mooter in Philadelphia.
I thought it would have just been flushed down the toilet or something like that.
Just dump it on the side of the road.
Yeah, because people want to go see Gigi Allen.
It's horrible.
I want to be
notable thing is his death.
Buried in a coffin full of shit.
He was something.
Yeah, that's how I want to go. I want to be buried in a coffin of shit. Jesus. Yeah, if you haven't seen Gigi Allen, you didn't miss much, but it's fun to talk about.
By the way, that's going to be the box set for Popcorn the Band. It's going to be called Buried in a Coffin of Shit.
And it's going to be in a coffin. It's going to be shaped like a coffin. And listen, big things happening once again with Popcorn the Band. I want to give a big shout out. This is serious. This is serious, guys. A big shout out to David Scher, who gave us new ideas for following a new sound in the band, basically suggesting that those farting pigs that you get at the gift store, those, they're rubber pigs and you squeeze them and they fart and oink, it comes out of both ends. That might be a part of our new sound, as well as those rubber chickens that squeak when you squeeze their tummy. So you could go, buddy, you're good, man. Yeah, something like that.
If you can put that'd be something that would be percussion that you would want to put in between some of my Calliope riffs.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I like this. I'm working on tour logistics now, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, and again, right now, just so you guys know, Popcorn the Band, speaking for at least the four of us here on stage, and Jojo the Chimp, our tambourine player, who's not with us today. Just so you know, we're still working on getting the tour going. It's hard with the COVID thing, but we're trying to get it going. So just cross fingers and hang tight. And
it's planning on being an amphitheater tour. It's going to be an amphitheater tour, but all the amphitheaters are going to be closed when we play. So that's the uniqueness of it, and it's very difficult to get that done. And
probably no audience, like a lot of sporting events.
Except ours will be voluntarily not attending the show.
Yeah,
that's the charm of Popcorn the Band. We're the band you can't wait to not see.
I like that. That's the best part.
That's a great one. You could imagine what a great opening act Gigi Allen would have been.
Oh yeah, I would love to have gone stage after him.
You'd have to get a squeegee and clean the stage, so you don't slip on turds.
Well, we'll have to. It would have to be three bands on the bill. It would be Gigi Allen opening, followed by Fluffer, and then Popcorn the Band.
Nice.
Fluffer's a nice acoustic duo, and I'm not sure you've seen them. They play mops.
Can't wait. I thought I saw them on the other side of a glory hole once in concert, but it's very, very nice. So that's
the name of their anthology.
That's the status of Popcorn the Band. And thank you, David Scher, for the good percussion ideas. And we'll be selling Popcorn the Band merch, of course, and because it's a cash grab, and that's what we're all about here.
Yeah. But we're doing it for the fans.
Yeah, for the fans and their cash. And their cash.
The fans' money and their credit cards.
We can't wait to show up for the fans.
I tell y'all, tonight's going to be a hot night.
Ooh, we're gonna take your money. Ooh, we're gonna grab it.
Yeah. Got a money and credit cards. Yeah.
I want to reach deep in your pockets and pull out all of your cash.
Ooh, it's charge card time again.
Give me your black diamonds.
Oh, boy.
I could just see Gene on the phone with his lawyer right now. They're doing it again.
So stop those two fat kids on the YouTube.
Send Johnny Beane a letter.
Doc, I want you to handle this. Andre, I want you to handle this.
Johnny can't keep up with the mail between hate mail of the fans, between lawsuits for popcorn, between Kiss and Ozzy and Sharon all sending us cease and desists, between Bang Energy saying don't do with a laundry list, and between Swiss
I haven't
Picks
seen a Bang
also.
Energy yet.
Sure you have. I've been sipping it as we go.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, we haven't brought up any penis humor as much, but usually it's sponsored by Bang Energy Drink.
Today, Jonathan Mancuda will be sucking Bangster Berry, which is the
and
name of the man who works at the Ace Hardware down the street.
That's
Bangster
his
Berry.
evening name. That's his
Bangster Berry.
evening name.
He's the night janitor at the local elementary school.
And his brother Dingle will be there as the gimp. Dingleberry.
By the way, I can't believe both of us made a Berry reference and haven't done Fred Berry. Nobody gets a Fred Berry reference?
Or Boo Berry.
I'm the only one old enough to remember Fred Berry? Shit.
That sounds familiar. Refresh me.
What's happening? Rerun.
Oh, rerun. No Roger, no rerun, no rent.
Fred Berry, man. Johnny will be Raj. I'll be Dwayne. You'll be rerun. Why? Because I'm fat? What the?
All right, I'll be rerun. I'll be because
All right,
I got
cool,
the hat. I got the hat.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I'll be rerun.
Plus,
Hi.
I believe rerun also converted. So
Hi.
trust me, most people in the chat right now are going, "What the fuck are they talking about?
What's happening? I don't even remember that show. Yeah, you do. That was with the little girl D. Oh, wait till Mama finds out that you was eating cat. Yeah, that was a great show, man.
Yeah, it wasn't on that long though.
But you know what? That's when a legacy happens. Just like when we get ripped off the air by iHeartRadio, there will be a legacy of humor left behind.
It'll be like, well, okay, this brings me to an unscheduled left turn in this show, but it shouldn't be anything new. The death of Fred Willard.
Oh man, that hit hard.
I went down a YouTube rabbit hole when he died because we were looking stuff. My first exposure, no pun intended, to Fred Willard was Fernwood Tonight. For those that don't know what that is, it was an offshoot
Did you say Firmwood?
Yes.
You exposed Firmwood to Fred Willard.
Yes. Well, he reciprocated, as we all know. Fernwood Tonight was an offshoot of a show called Mary Hartman. And what it was a fake late night talk show in the fictional town of Fernwood, Ohio. And Martin Mull was the host, and Fred Willard was his sidekick. And the episode that I found, and Fernwood Tonight is fantastic. It's really funny.
Yeah.
The episode
I used to watch that all the time.
So yeah, the
back
segment I was
in the
watching.
80s.
I never saw this.
Oh, this is really good. You'll love it because look up Fernwood Tonight, Talk to a Jew.
Oh, well, right up my alley.
It's so funny.
If you Google talk to a Jew, my photo comes up.
It's
Your phone number comes up.
I'm not giving anything away when I tell you this. There's a segment about a Jewish guy who gets caught speeding in Fernwood, and the police chief thinks would be a good idea if he goes on the TV show Fernwood Tonight, which is their late night talk show in the town, so that people in Fernwood who have never been exposed to a Jew can get a little bit more familiar with them.
Well, there I was driving. I'm going. My wife's in the side seat. She's going, why are you going so fast? I said, I didn't even want to schlep you along, but you take me on this fakakta trip. Here we go. Oy vey, here come the police. All right, don't say anything. License registration. Hello, officer.
Hello.
Are we going a little quick? License registration. Right. Here we are. Modi Scheckenbaum Clement Steamheimerwitz. It's right there on my license. Yes. Are you Jewish, sir? Yeah. He's Jewish, but my mother's side is from Poland, and they're Holocaust survivors. Shush, shush with your kvetching. Yes, officer. Well, you were going a little fast. I think probably to rectify this, a fine, some points on my license. No, we actually want to put you on a late night talk show so people are more familiar with Jews. Oh, well, there's an idea. Why not? It's a good idea. Okay, we'll do it. I'll pull over here.
By the way,
who came up with that?
Suddenly he's become Watto from Star Wars. Everything leads back to Star Wars.
What is this? All of a sudden, I'm the Jew.
So, Annie, you were going too fast in your speeder, huh?
I'm going to need you to build a pyramid of the speeder parts. Always with the pyramids.
So yeah, it's a great show. So if Fred Willard, who for those people that don't know, he was Lieutenant Hook Stratton in Spinal Tap, Lieutenant Bob Hook Stratton. Which, by the way, if you check his IMDb, he is listed as colonel on Air Force Base. Lieutenant Bob Hook Stratton was not a colonel. So get that straight. IMDb, fix that. All right.
Yeah, really.
And then obviously the last big role that we all remember him. I mean, he was on Modern Family. He did a lot of television. Like every great sitcom that's been on in the past 30 years has had at least one episode with Fred Willard. And I'm not kidding. Like it's almost the sitcom doesn't exist unless Fred Willard has been on it.
Wait a second. Is your dog chewing on that girl's entrails? Is that what?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's intestines.
Okay. Okay.
That's her uterus.
Just wondering.
And he's having at it. No, but and the last thing that you might remember him as is station manager Ed Harkin from Anchorman.
Actually,
who hasn't seen? We're both adults here. We've both seen our fair share of German pornography. Oh, you haven't? Yeah. Oh, you haven't? Well, I was just speaking, metaphorically. I'll talk to you later, Sister Margaret.
Actually, he was on Jimmy Kimmel Live a lot of episodes recently in little skits. Best in Show, if you remember that movie about the dog. Dogs, terrific. I'm still waiting for Guffman. Great talent. And on Modern Family, he was the father, the
grandfather, the father of one of the couple. The interesting thing about him is, I think, and somebody with a better knowledge of his history would know better, but I believe he's one of those guys that they gave him the basic outline of what the script and the subject matter was,
and he improv'd
it because his improv was fantastic. And there's nobody. The thing about Fred Willard is he was singular. There's nobody that did what he did like he did, and there won't be anybody that does it again because that's a lost art. He and Martin Mull would get drunk and do this Fernwood Tonight Show. And it's really, really funny. Going back on YouTube, if you get a chance, go and watch some of those. Like that, the scene right there that they're showing with the guy and the woman in the shorts there with Martin Mull and the four people. Approximately 30 seconds after that shot that you see, the guy on the left takes her over his knee and starts spanking her.
Now we have a party.
There's a scene. I'm not going to give them all away, but there's a scene where they have an 8-year-old African-American kid sitting, just came out and did a dance routine or something like that. And he's sitting on the dais, and you know how after an all talk show, the host and the sidekick start asking questions and interview after the performance. Well, Fred Willard looks over and goes, "So, I'm interesting. I have a question. The TV show Roots. I thought your people came off pretty good." You could never do that today.
That's awesome.
It's blisteringly funny. So yeah, if you want to dig into some stuff on the internet that's actually well worth your viewing, Fred Willard stuff on Fernwood Tonight would be the way to go.
So the great Fred Willard, from one inappropriate show to another inappropriate actor, we tip our hats to you.
He was something.
It really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was on a lot of great stuff.
Everything. If you look at he was on Get Smart going back to the 60s, all the way through, anything that was on in the last couple of weeks that that was shot last summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I first saw him on Spinal Tap, but then would see him on Fernwood Tonight because I think Nick at Night was running the show for a while.
Yeah,
and I would watch it.
And by the way, if anyone in this audience has not seen the movie Spinal Tap, you have to. Yeah, to be a part of this audience talking about metal, because Fred Willard was very metal. You definitely have to have at least seen Spinal Tap. That's like required reading 101.
I think everybody has.
I think
Let us-
everyone
in the
is there
chat.
is there anyone in the chat right now? Just shout out if you have not seen the movie Spinal Tap. Just
This is Spinal
raise
Tap.
your hand. Raise your hand.
Press 1 if you have seen it or haven't.
Don't start with the damn numbers. Just say you have or haven't seen it.
Well,
We
that's
gotta
where
know.
you see them, because it's the easiest to do.
Let's see.
Press 1 if you have seen it.
They're gonna get confused. I try not to cater to the easy audience. So 1 if they have seen it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Or haven't.
Just let me know if you've seen it
Just
or not.
press 1. Either way.
Yeah,
You know what? Here's the thing: if you have
just
seen
say
it,
you've seen it or not.
if you have seen it, just hit a thumbs up.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, they've probably already done that.
Yeah.
All right.
If you haven't left a thumbs up on this video yet, please leave a thumbs up. So was one seen it or not seen it?
I don't know.
I'm seeing 4s and 5s in there. Just say if you've seen it or not. Forget the numbers. I'll get too confused. Let's see.
Two notable cameos in This Is Spinal Tap. One, Duke Fame, played by.
I don't know the character name.
That's Duke Fame. Duke Fame. That you see him in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. He's playing the Enormo Dome.
You're asking the chat, right?
No, I was trying to get it's Paul Shortino.
So I know his name, but I didn't know the character's name.
Yeah, Paul Shortino from Rough Cut is in This Is Spinal Tap, and so is Blackie Lawless if you have the DVD. Because at the end of the end of the DVD, at the end of the credits, there's a commercial for Heavy Metal Memories, a greatest hits record, and it's a guy and his girlfriend in front of a fireplace getting ready to get down with the beautiful romantic sounds of Heavy Metal Memories, and it's Blackie Lawless from Wasp.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Riley Morgan hasn't seen it. And
Hasn't seen. Wow.
Has not
Hasn't?
seen Spinal Tap. Has not.
Did Riley press 1?
Forget one. And Frank Corcoran hasn't seen it. Let's see.
I have a friend who does radio in Reno who told me he shut Spinal Tap off because he didn't get it.
Really? You can't be friends with him.
Well, we haven't spoken in years, but
For good reason.
We were never the same friends ever again after he said that. I'm like, are you serious? But he also looks like Chino from Deftones. So
Just about everyone has seen it except those two. False Flag says almost. I guess he's watching it right now, so it's almost done. Uh-oh.
That's not me.
Hope that's not a neighborhood child, man.
No, that's Lemmy. She's almost harmless.
Almost.
See, Fruitcake Tony's done it right. He's seen it more than once, like Rocky Horror Picture Show. You gotta.
Oh yeah, I would watch. I would watch it every other day.
I have all of the I have the DVD that and if you want to, if you own the DVD, John, either John.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah,
I do. Yeah.
Watch it on DVD and turn the director's commentary on.
Yeah.
Because they do it in character.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
It's essentially Spinal Tap.
Watching Spinal Tap.
Watching This Is Spinal Tap, not getting the jokes. It's fantastic. The layers of brilliance on that. And then they did a special called The Return of Spinal Tap in the late 80s, maybe early 90s.
They had another album too, Break Like the Wind.
They have 3 albums. And there's Back from the Dead too. There's a third one.
I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah, but the Return of Spinal Tap, which I also own on DVD, I think it was a Fox TV special, and it was when Break Like the Wind came out. They did like a concert on Fox Television, and they did they interspersed a couple of going back to the house in Squatney, where David, kind of like making fun of the Beatles, where John and Paul grew up. It's where David and Nigel grew up outside their house in Squatney.
Squatney.
Yeah, it was really well done. And again,
Wasn't Gigi Allen also from Squatney?
Yes, I believe so. Squatney, New Hampshire.
No, that was part of his act.
The movie did not come out before. Jim Nicholas asked if the movie came out before Aerosmith's Rockin' a Hard Place. No, it did not. And the Stonehenge joke in This Is Spinal Tap is based upon a real experience with Black Sabbath on the Born Again tour, with Ian Gillan on lead vocals. The joke in This Is Spinal Tap is that the Stonehenge model was too small and in danger of being crushed by a dwarf. In the reality of that joke from the Black Sabbath tour, they did have a huge Stonehenge model. It didn't fit in any of the arenas that they were supposed to play, because Black Sabbath at that point with Ian Gillan were not playing huge hockey arenas at that point. They were playing mid-sized theaters, and the stage set was too big for them to set up. So that's an actual real joke that was taken to another direction. Yeah.
That's funny. You said erection. That's funny. Mad Dog says, Mad Dog says, I could play Gigi Allen in the movie. I guess the life documentary about him. Listen, if you're out there and you're planning on doing a Gigi Allen life documentary, I'm in. I'm so in at any rate. I don't care what it is. You let me know if you want to cast me as Gigi Allen. I'm totally there. Because I guarantee that documentary will make more money than he did in his whole career.
Here's the thing we found out Saturday night. Was it 86,000, Johnny? We found out that Gigi Allen has 86,000 unique users on his Spotify channel.
Wow.
Somebody said something like that. Yeah.
86,000 people. I think it might have been Jay Hannon that looked that up. Because he was enamored with all of the music on Gigi's record that I read. I read the song titles off, and I won't repeat them here because it's a family show.
Yeah, as long as your family works in a brothel.
Yeah.
It's a great family show.
Yeah, Hugh Caldwell says the band Saxon says a lot of the film was based on them. Look, every band says that Spinal Tap was based on them. That's the brilliance of the movie, is because it hit so home and it was so common, and that metal was such a parody of itself that it lent itself to all of those stupid stories.
Yeah, and most of those stories are relatable to most bands.
You don't think the Metallica album in 1991 was deliberately put out the way it came out in homage to Spinal Tap? The Black Album was deliberately done that way in homage to that movie.
Couldn't be done any more blacker.
Yeah, none more black.
Were we just talking about what's happening? We were, right? Oh. Jeez.
Hi, John.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Spinal Tap was so damn good. And here's the great thing. One of the things that I think is lost about This Is Spinal Tap and all that comes with it, and that is they wrote and played their songs.
Yeah, these are
unlike so many of the bands that parody that parody it.
This is one thing I always tell people about Steel Panther. They're actual musicians. It's a comedy show. It's a parody, but same thing with Spinal Tap. These are real musicians that were playing their instruments. He can really sing. They can really perform. It just happens to be funny as fuck.
Yeah. Internet Money says Spinal Tap wasn't good. It's lame AF. Of course, you're right. You're absolutely right. It sucked. It was miserable. You're right.
And he doesn't like Steel Panther either.
Right, of course. Yes. Well, then.
Listen, Internet Money, as long as our show is tolerable, that's all that matters.
I want to be lame as fuck. Because if that puts us in the same category with Steel Panther, who are making a ton of money, and Spinal Tap, which is considered in the Smithsonian as one of the greatest comedy movies in the history of movie making, yeah, I want to be lame too. I want to be lame AF.
I want to be that lame, absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
But leave a thumbs up anyway.
Yeah.
Leave a thumbs up on the video.
If you want to go out and get the Spinal Tap album, this is what you look for. That's it.
That's it. There it is.
It's interesting, and showing how great art almost imitates life. How about
There it is. There it is.
How about Brian May almost dying in a bizarre gardening accident?
Oh, did you watch last week's episode?
No,
I got
trying to save the bleeding.
I got as deep into that topic as a zucchini probably got deep into his ass. I don't know if it was a garden weasel or whatever. Did anyone ever reveal what happened to poor Brian May's ass? Brian May of Queen, who got his ass ripped apart in a gardening accident a week ago.
I mean, literally tore his buttocks. His buttocks got torn.
I don't know.
I don't know. We talked about it last week, though. And listen, if anyone has any further information, please bring it up in the chat, because I'd love to hear what happened. I mean, how do you explain that? You go into the hospital. Yeah, it looks like my ass fell into a wood chipper, but I don't want to get into it, you know. And
let me say, well, there might be an update, because if you search Brian May injury is one of the first results.
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see something ripped up.
Oh.
Something ripped up to fuck my tushy. Yeah, he's hurting, poor guy. And we wish him well, of course. So
Yes. They're just jokes, kids.
yeah.
Brian May. Here's the thing about Brian May. The second most impressive thing about Brian May is he's one of the greatest guitar players that's ever picked one up.
Very underrated.
That's the second most impressive thing about Brian May.
This gardening accident's the first.
Yes, the fact that NASA calls the guitar player for Queen when they need advice on shit is, to me, is ridiculous. They're like we have an equation. Who should we call? Well, Hawking's dead. Neil deGrasse Tyson, way too pretentious. What is Brian May doing? Nothing. Let's call him. Brian May picks up. Hello? What? Oh, not you again. Mercury. Right, that's the name. Right, Mercury. First planet from the sun. Yeah, Mercury. All right, then, fuck off.
Well, taking a trip to Uranus, I hear.
No.
Well, this could be clickbait. I mean, it says that his health condition is not good, and this was just like 3 days ago.
Well, I mean, look, you tear your ass and tell me how good you feel.
Well, he is 72 years old.
Yes.
And that's an excuse. I know a lot of elderly people that don't run into the emergency room with a freshly hay bale plowed ass. Hobo Rody says there's thousands of ways to die on the farm. Yeah.
What look at this.
Children of the Corn.
There's Johnny Beane merch. There's a Johnny Beane merch ad in the middle of that.
I know. This is crazy.
I love how that happens.
That keeps happening.
Yes, I wonder how that keeps happening. I love this. Be unique, be you, be Johnny Beane.
That is me. By the way, I do have masks available.
Do you?
I do. That's true.
Yeah. Do you have them with the talking guitars and 80s metal logo?
No.
Popcorn the band?
I'm gonna have to make those.
Popcorn the band would be great. I'd wear that. I'd wear that. I'd want one. Fruitcake Tony brings up, and yes, Brian May is one of the few rock stars who has an actual PhD. No joke. That's actually very true.
Brian May is an unequaled legend. He may be the smartest musician on the face of the earth, despite what internet money wants to say. You've had your 15 seconds to troll, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Man, internet money's not a happy guy.
Yeah, it's tough to wake up and be that angry at the world.
I try. It just never works.
I know.
Usually because my hand's in my underwear and I'm like, oh, I did it again. Oh, no.
First thing.
First on? Is that what you said? And Tone Bolt says, perfect time to promote Jason's video with Brian May and friends. That's a good point. Thank you, Tone Bolts. Jason McNamara's video.
Yes,
Brian May.
Which we were sharing around today. I mean, it's a who's who of amazing musicians doing a cover of "We Are the Champions" that our good friend Jay Hannon was lucky enough to mix and produce and put this thing together. And working with that amount of musical talent under those kind of circumstances is something that should be lauded. Jay Hannon is a fantastic artist at what he does, and we recognize him today. He was really good, and that thing is going around the internet. And Jason McNamara, brilliant idea, getting all of his friends together to do this thing, and And that's one of the good things that happens on the internet, as opposed to this show every Tuesday night on Johnny Bean TV, 8 p.m. Eastern.
There you are. What a good segue. What a good segue.
Jay, I know Jay's watching.
Yeah, and Jay did. I gotta just tip my hat to him. Jay did an amazing job producing, because that's got to be a lot of pressure already.
Yeah,
and then from that, to take all that talent and it's on you to do the right mixes and come out with it the way Jay did. Tip of the hat to Jay Hannon, man. Great job, man. Really.
No, I think that I think, and keep in mind, a producer's job is to clean up the mistakes. And when you've got that amount of musical talent, there are going to be some mistakes. I mean, the good part about it is they'll never tell you. That's it's like a secret society, the guys that know exactly what your voice really sounds like.
Oh boy.
No, I mean, I can tell you, because I've got some of the demos for those people. We just celebrated, not celebrated, but commemorated the anniversary of the passing of Chris Cornell, who's considered one of the greatest singers of his generation, and rightly so. But he wasn't perfect in the studio. And, the old Audio Slave demos, when they were still called Civilian, points that out. Like, an amazing producer can make somebody who makes a mistake in the studio sound brilliant. And I don't know that there were any mistakes made, but I'm certain that product didn't come to Jay Hannon as well polished as he made it sound. So good to him.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work, man. That's
Sure
more work
is.
than a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
Gary Thollander says he believes Brian May might have fallen on a steel rake. There you go.
Ouch. Well,
that would do it. That's metal. This is a metal show. That's metal. That's metal.
Ouch.
Yeah. So Johnny Bean, what do those Johnny Bean coronavirus masks look like? Or social distancing masks, we'll call them.
It's just, the one that I saw, it's red with white text.
So it's just a piece of duct tape. It's just Johnny comes over your house, knocks on your door, he slaps a piece of duct tape across your mouth and go, thanks for the $7.
That's a very Jamie Gum thing. Put the lotion into the basket, put the mask on your fucking face.
That's really fun.
Nobody cared about me until I put on the mask.
Let's talk while we're on the tragedy that is this show. While we're on tragedy, let's just give our warmest condolences to Bruce Dickinson. That's really rough. He was estranged from his wife Patty Bowden, who he was married to for a number of years. They had 3 kids. He was estranged from her. They separated a few years ago. But obviously the mother of your children, and he's in Paris right now, living with another woman. But she died of mysterious circumstances that they haven't yet revealed publicly. And Bruce has never been very public with his relations or his family. Even when he did his book years ago, he purposely left out dirt about his ex-wives and stuff that you might say, oh, it's a book, it's got dirt in it. He didn't want to go there. So even in this circumstance, he really wanted to kind of keep the death, in the public eye, but without giving details and all sorts of stories. He just said, look, they got a call. The ambulances got a call. They arrived in 2 minutes. She was, dead at the time. Some tragic accident happened, and she's passed away. And we'd like to, reserve privacy for the family, if you wouldn't mind. So, it's hard. Even estranged, you got to talk about, the mother of your children with good words. So, Patty Bowden passed away Monday. Really sorry for Bruce Dickinson and his family.
Yeah, Bruce is a very proper English gentleman, and that is to say that sometimes he can be prickly, sometimes he can be very difficult to get into. He's personable when he wants to be personable, but he's very, very private, and doesn't suffer fools. He's easily irritated by nonsense. So stuff like this. Anybody saying or doing something that would be sort of poking the bear and stuff, he would not take kindly to in that. And he, look, there's nothing funny about this. It's a bad situation. There are children who have lost their mother, and despite being estranged and not being with somebody and stuff, you still spend a period of your life with somebody like that, and you give a little piece of yourself. So a little part of yourself dies in a situation like that, and it's a horrible tragedy. And obviously, we want to send Bruce our condolences to him and to his family and to his children as well.
Yeah, that's rough, losing your mother like that. So, and everyone here is an Iron Maiden fan. I mean, it goes without saying they're literally one of the greatest metal bands of all time.
Except the Blaze Bailey albums.
And Popcorn, the band, also another one. Yeah, so that's Bruce Dickinson news. Let's see what else. Let's get on to. We have a lot of news today, actually. Let's get on to something better. Good news. Another member of KISS is going to be selling something worth a lot of money and coming into a fortune soon. Anybody know what it is?
Is it my codpiece?
No, Gene, it's one of my thousands of Ibanez guitars made with a cut for breaking in half and selling the pieces for a fortune for the fans.
Everything we do is for the fans and a nominal fee.
It's all for the fans and a nominal fee.
We'll be touring the world for a nominal fee.
Absolutely. And we're coming to a town near you for a nominal fee.
That should be the name of the next KISS box set.
Nominal fee.
KISS Alive 5, nominal fee. Nominal! Let me tell you a story about a bank account that's growing. Lots of stupid people paying lots of cash just to see our singer wiggle his fat ass.
Oh!
Wish he was Ace Frehley, maybe Peter Criss. Anything is better than listening to this.
Domino!
Nominal!
Nominal.
By the way, this is the biggest bass guitar ever. Like, what the hell was that?
It's a big dollar sign. It's a big dollar sign. Just
it's the biggest guitar I've ever seen. Gene is playing a bass like this. What the hell was that?
Do you have any basses?
Me or Paul?
Paul? Do you have a bass guitar?
Oh yeah, I have a couple basses.
I have three. I have three bases of warrants, but I don't play them.
I have my favorite bass is I have a Fender Aerodyne jazz bass, the black one, like Frankie Bello and Duff McKagan play. It's a great bass.
Cool.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but the dogs are tearing in and out of the room.
Better than tearing off girls' fingers.
Yeah, well, that comes later. It's early in the show.
For a nominal fee.
For a nominal fee. Nominal!
Oh.
Do.
Did anybody in the chat guess who the big KISS?
I don't see anyone making the guess yet.
Well, it's because when you find out who it is, you realize, well, that's not KISS.
Yeah, really. All right. Anyway, it's Tommy Thayer of Black and Blue. I mean, of KISS. And yeah, so Tommy Thayer is selling his house in SoCal for $2.75 million.
It's simply nominal fee.
Nominal fee. And yeah, so if you guys want, it's up for sale. You can own the house of a member of KISS.
And look at that again, man. Why does that keep happening?
Well, obviously, KISS is very behind all the Johnny Beane merch and the Jesus and Mary chain.
I love how Johnny Beane is put in that category. Those are the four greats, the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Joe Jackson, the band,
of musical
the band.
brilliance.
There's the band, because you can't have a show without the band.
Wow.
Let's hear it for the band.
Wow, that's awesome.
The band that we paid.
Here's the thing. Maybe I'm in the minority here. I actually liked Black and Blue.
I love Black and Blue.
I thought Black and Blue was a great band. I thought that they should have been bigger than they were. I think another example of being sort of manipulated by the wrong record deal and the wrong management, and probably the wrong time. You know,
I don't know
Even
about
though
the
Jamie
wrong
St. James
time.
looks a little bit like Brandy Love.
I don't know about the wrong time. I think the time was fine. I think they were just mismanaged.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know, and as you guys all know, Tommy Thayer is playing the spaceman Ace Frehley in KISS for years now. So it's not new, but you know, there's a lot of controversy, obviously. But the fact is, Ace's identity and Peter Criss's identity are owned by Gene and Paul. So they could stick whoever they want in those costumes, and that's it. By the way, Jim Nicholas brings up that that's the same face that I fuck on my pillow is that Johnny Beane t-shirt. Yes,
Yep.
You are correct.
Yep. Also, keep in mind that Gene has made it very clear that when it's all said and done, those faces will be painted on for other people going out and touring as KISS.
Yeah. So
KISS is a franchise. It's not a band.
Yeah, it's characters and whoever is playing them. It's like Spider-Man. Marvel owns Spider-Man and someone plays Peter Parker, different actors and whatever. The same thing is going to happen with KISS. KISS is going to still be touring forever and ever with whoever they decide to put in those costumes. I think Gene's son, Nick, should be in there as Gene. Don't you?
He can be Gene without wearing any platform shoes. That kid's a big
Yeah. He's a huge guy.
And
what is he? 6'6"?
Super talented artist,
right?
And by all accounts, those children are very well adjusted given the environment that they grew up in. Both of them seem to have their shit together.
Well, Gene's a hell of a nice guy. I mean, we joke a lot, but he's a super nice guy and he's a very good father.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't realize that the Gene Simmons that you see, the asshole and the sort of money grubbing goof and stuff like that, he is actually, it's a character. He knows that's how he's getting attention. And he knows it's like wrestling. He knows that he's getting your goat by doing this stuff. When you actually get a chance to see the guy in a professional environment, he couldn't be nicer. He's polite. He's got manners. He donates a ton of money to veterans' causes. He's a huge philanthropist. He and Shannon are the nicest people in the world. Like backstage at a KISS show when they're not doing the meet and greet and they're just hanging around. And I've been fortunate enough, given what I do for a living in radio, that I've seen them sort of in a personal experience. He's as sweet can be. Nice to everybody, polite to the vendors and all the people in there. Like, yes, please. Yes, thank you for everything you do. Couldn't be a nicer guy. But yes, he plays a jerk and he plays it well. His jerk character is phenomenal.
Yeah, and he doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. He's just very, very smart. He's a good businessman, and Paul too. Very dedicated to his family. Sure. Very dedicated to the band. And look, we joke, but Paul and I are both members of the KISS Army since we were kids. Yeah. Huge KISS fans, both of us. Fact is, they really do give a shit about their fans, big time. They really do.
And I mean, let's face it, they'll never get the credit they deserve as a musical outfit based upon the spectacle that they've created. It's the greatest spectacle in rock music history. Still today, it's still the best show you can see for your dollar. You go to a show and you're seeing, and keep in mind, you're not just seeing a guy on a trapeze flying over 20,000 people on a single trapeze. He's a 70-year-old guy.
A 70-year-old Jewish guy. Yeah.
Doing something athletic.
Yeah.
That's
not what we Jews do. We Jews don't do athletic a lot.
They are still the best show in music. Are they the best band in music? No, but who cares? I mean, it's not what you're going. If you go to a KISS show and you plunk down your hard-earned cash, the one thing that they will guarantee you, and you know that this is true, it's always a good show. You're going to walk out of there 90 minutes later thinking, okay, well, that was money well spent. As opposed to some bands that you pay your money to and you go, Jesus, that sucked. Bands that have put on a lesser show have charged way more money than KISS.
And I know, before someone says something, I know in this final tour, they've been using backing tracks and stuff like that. Look, give the guys a break. They're in their 70s. Give them a break. Really.
Well, two of them are.
Well, the two you care about are. Nothing against Tommy and Eric, but
Yeah, they're probably in their 50s.
Yeah, and that's fine. And look, with all due respect, Tommy's a great guitar player. He got the role of Ace because he can mimic Ace perfectly. On his own, if you listen to old Black and Blue albums, if you listen to that song Hold On to 18, Tommy's a terrific fucking guitarist. And Eric Singer, been with KISS for many years, And yeah, he holds his own. He has the right to be in that band. Absolutely. The makeup thing, you can debate it all you want. Yes, no, maybe. I'm going to see KISS no matter what, because they put on a great fucking show. And I, for one, love their music. I do.
Mm-hmm.
You all know that.
And there are a lot of people that don't like the band, and that's fine too.
That's fine. Absolutely.
That's fine too. You don't have to like them. Nobody's saying you have to like them. You don't have to like any band. Jesus. Don't
Yeah, a
listen
lot
to
of
any
people-
band
a
because
lot of
somebody
people
says
don't-
that you should.
A lot of people don't like Poison. They're like, oh, the makeup. Blah, blah, blah. I love Poison, and I love KISS, and I love those kind of bands. And if you don't, it's all good, man. If you like something heavier, you like different artists, it's all good. There's no wrong answer. If you like Milli Vanilli, okay, it's a wrong answer. But
Here's
other than that, no wrong answer.
Here's the thing, though. Whether you like them or not, they are historic in their proficiency with regard to album sales. I mean, the numbers don't lie. When you look at the scoreboard, you look at the scoreboard, you go, well, they're up there. They're up there with the Beatles and the Stones and AC/DC. They're up there. And the show is unmatched. Nobody has ever, I mean, they took what bands like Alice Cooper and Screamin' Jay Hawkins, if you want to go all the way back to the 50s, did before them and brought it to a level that has never been. And still, the only band that comes close to equaling the spectacle of a KISS show is Rammstein. Rammstein does an amazing job with flamethrowers on their heads when they come out and play. Unfortunately, sometimes, just like with KISS, the music isn't exactly the highlight of their show. The spectacle is the highlight of their show.
And Rammstein, forgive them for that eating pussy accident. He forgot to take the flamethrower out. The groupie was hot. He just went down on her behind stage, and the lawsuit settled it all. But forgetting Rammstein, Jeff T brings up funny that is KISS going to start selling KISS walkers, KISS canes, and KISS adult diapers. I'm telling, that would be the funniest fucking thing in the world if they went that way with merch. That would be really funny. I mean, I know someone out there has an EVH striped walker, so why not, man? I mean, it's funny as hell.
Who cares? Who cares if they do? If somebody wants to buy it and he wants to put his logo on it, then do it.
God bless him. And,
I mean,
why not?
The Nike swoosh is on enough shit. Michael Jordan's Jumpman is on enough shit.
He's already got the KISS coffins ready, so you might as well have that step between here and there, just to fill in the gap. And Bozique brings up a good point. He said, Bozique agrees with me. Tommy Thayer is a way better player than Ace Frehley, and that's debatable. They're both great players, but he says Tommy dumbs it down to play like Ace. And that's the thing. You have to realize something. Tommy Thayer was their tour manager for a while, and he basically was running with them as, an unofficial member of KISS. And one time when Ace just couldn't play, Tommy threw on the makeup and filled in for him because he literally plays like Ace if he wants to.
Well, let's give everybody the backstory. Black and Blue was actually produced by Gene Simmons. Their two biggest albums, and big is relative because they never really popped huge, but their big records were produced by Gene Simmons. Tommy Thayer has been on Gene Simmons' payroll for a long time. When Black and Blue was not out on the road or recording records, they had a side project which was a KISS cover band called Cold Gin. And Tommy Thayer played the role of Ace Frehley in Cold Gin. So when he went out on the road as the tour manager and personal assistant for the band, when the reunion tour happened back in the late 90s, he actually was the guitar coach and taught Ace Frehley all of his old licks again so that Ace could get back into shape to play. And they kept him on the payroll in the expected event that Ace Frehley would not show up for a show or might end up being unreliable. Credit where credit is due. As much as I love Ace Frehley, he's my favorite guitar player in the band, and he's the reason why I play guitar today, poorly.
And he's an influence on everybody.
He's an influence. I mean, he's got his own style. He's not the best guitar player in the world, but he's got his own style. They kept Tommy Thayer around knowing that Ace was unreliable, and that in the event that Ace couldn't put on a show, rather than cancel the show, they would still put on the show, put Tommy Thayer in the Ace makeup, not tell anybody, and that did happen, not tell anybody that Tommy Thayer was dressed up like Ace Frehley, and the audience never knew the difference because he could mock and mimic that style so well. So credit where credit is due.
They did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a smart... Yes.
During the reunion in 96?
Yes.
Are there pictures? Are there pictures of that?
Yeah, there's pictures of him on stage.
And Fruitcake Tony brings up Tommy was at one point Gene's personal assistant as well.
Yeah. And those things from a business standpoint, that's the right thing to do. Have somebody on the bench so that the product doesn't suffer. As shitty as that might sound, this is a business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. And if people pay $400 a ticket to see a great show, they should see a great show. Now, the idea that that Tommy Thayer was playing the role of Ace Frehley for some show, Hal Face is saying that didn't happen. Of course it happened.
It did happen.
It absolutely happened.
Maybe it was Hal Face.
It could have
I
been.
mean, look at his avatar. He looks just like it.
Yeah. The thing is, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't do his stunts in the Terminator.
Quick, throw me the kildo.
Come on, you do it. Give me the Les Paul. I can play it. Shock me. The lightning is all I need.
Oh, Black Diamond.
The crime here. But just like those actors don't do their own stunts, with the exception of Tom Cruise, who does do a lot of his own stunts, and Jackie Chan, just like those guys don't do their own stunts. If a guitar player gets up and plays the show and you don't know the difference and you suspend disbelief and you get your hour and a half's entertainment's worth for the money you plunked down, who cares? It was a great business decision on their part. As unpopular
it was an
as that might be.
emergency. At that time, it was an emergency. You have a stadium full of people. Your Kiss. You're like, okay, what do? We don't have a guitar player. I mean, that's what you do. You put someone in the Ace makeup, and Tommy was the perfect guy.
Sure.
I mean, that night he saved the day,
and that's fine. And again, it's not like they were doing it every night, but every once in a while, just like you paid your season tickets to see whatever your favorite football team is. Let's use the Patriots because everybody hates the Patriots. You pay your season tickets to see the Patriots. 3 games into the season, Tom Brady gets hurt and has to miss a game. They pull in the backup quarterback. The team goes out and still wins. Is that a problem?
No.
Who cares? Who cares if that happens?
You want to see the team. And look, here's the thing. You want to see Ace Frehley. You do. That night, that's who you're expecting. But you know what? We have an emergency. We have a substitution. It's just like going to a play. You're going to a play. You're paying to
understudy,
Yeah, you're paying to see the main actor, and something happened. They lost their voice. The understudy hops in and saves the day. You're still enjoying the play. And you're getting all the other members.
You get a unique experience, all right? So you were at one of the shows that Tommy Thayer played on the KISS reunion tour. There weren't many of those. That's a moment. That's a moment in time. Now, I'm not saying it's something that you prefer, that you would choose, but when it's all said and done, when they go back and they say, well, they played 200 shows on that tour, and 3 of them they had to play. I don't know how many the actual number was, but 3 of them they had to play with Tommy Thayer, and you were at one of them. Well, that makes that show that much more unique and singular in your concert going experience.
Kind of sucks, actually.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. In fact, talking about it really bums me out. I'm glad I didn't pay money for that.
Yeah, because I'd be really pissed.
Really sour about that. You know what? Screw Tommy Thayer. Don't buy his house.
You know what? Don't buy the house. Seriously.
Don't buy the house.
Seriously. Fuck that.
Screw him. Let him eat. Let him bring it down. Let him short sell it.
Yeah. You know what? Offer 1.2 million.
Yeah, screw him.
Someone in the chat buy it cheap. I mean, we're in quarantine. He needs money like everyone else. No,
the whole thing went dark very quick.
Yeah, jokes aside though. No, good for KISS. And John BL, but I know it was Metal Soda that originally asked, what's with the toilet seat behind Mancuda? I thought it was the guitar behind Mancuda. That's not a toilet seat. That's a heart. That's a really great thing. I got it on Valentine's Day, and it was a box of flavored beef jerkies, because we're men and we love chocolate, but you know what? We love meat. We love meat. It's a good one.
John Mancuda loves meat.
There's a sound bite for you. I want meat in my mouth. Put that meat in my mouth.
That's a Phil Hendry thing.
Yeah, so I just happen to like the box. It's a big heart box. And Metal Soda did ask right above my thumb right there that I'm thumbing its ass. That's a BC Rich Gunslinger I had on a few weeks ago. That purple and pink checkerboard.
That's nice.
I love that guitar. I love that guitar. It's been getting a lot of love lately. So that's that one. And yeah, other ideas for merchandise, the KISS bedpan, the KISS daily medicine box. It's great stuff. And I'm sure if Gene sold it, they would actually make money on that. No shit.
And here's the thing. If you put out a product and people buy it, is that a bad idea? How many people in the chat right now would love to have a product that they could put out on the internet or something like that and have thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people buy it for $9? You would love that. You wouldn't turn that money down in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Oh, I've got this Johnny Beane guitar pick over here for $1. If 10,000 people give him $1 for one of these picks, is Johnny going to take that 10,000 and go, no, my integrity. Screw integrity. This is business.
Yeah,
it's the music business.
And speaking of business, I just want to point out, speaking of picks, this is a Swiss pick, one of our sponsors, and these things are so fucking good. I love Swiss picks. Those little holes give you tremendous grip, and that's why I dropped the guitar pick just now.
Well, that's where the arthritis.
You don't hold it like this. You don't hold it like this. If you hold it like this, then you're gonna get great grip. God, jeez. If you hold it like this, you'll get great grip. And they have glow in the dark ones and pink ones, which I love. So that's a Swiss pick. So you know what they say: put your dick in a Swiss pick.
Now I have a question. I want to bring a question to the chat.
Yeah,
is that a run-of-the-mill Sleestak playing guitar on your chest, or it is in fact Enoch, the one talking Sleestak?
For those that can't see it, there it is. Now that's to the chat, right? Not to me.
That's right? It's you. That's a regular. To
me, yeah, because
regular Sleestak, because there's no tunic on him. He's not wearing a tunic, and that's the sign of Enoch.
Right. Or the little necklace, and he's not.
Yeah.
You can't tell the color. He's green, not gold.
Yeah.
But
well, you can tell because his feet and everything like that. He's not wearing any clothing.
Well, Enoch didn't have shoes. Enoch had the same feet.
Yeah, but he had that gold tunic.
Right, and the other Sleestak just had that crossbow at their hip. So yeah. Just for those
Sleestak were stormtroopers before there were stormtroopers.
Yeah, they never hit anything with these crossbows.
Those crossbows and the effective range of the crossbow was about from your nose to the tip of that microphone.
Yeah, like 2 feet. If you got real range, it's like 2 feet. Yeah, but for those of you that are fans of the Land of the Lost, this was and I mean the original 70s one, not that 90s piece of shit.
The Sid and Marty Krofft shit. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts, a Sleestak playing a guitar. Mixes a lot of things I like.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Sleestaks was awesome.
So that's that.
I don't know what the Vistalite asked, what was Chaka? I forget his breed.
Chaka was a Pakuni.
Pakuni, yes.
And there were 3 of them. There was Chaka, Ta, and Sa. Mm-hmm. Those were the 3 Pakuni family, which were basically like cavemen, kind of.
Cavemen, yeah. They were the missing link, sort of.
Yeah.
Neanderthals.
Yeah, so that's that. And Bozique brings up Bruce Kulick. He says, the point is Tommy's sort of like Bruce Kulick. He has a much larger vocabulary than just the blues scale. He literally has to forego more than half his arsenal to play Kiss tunes like Ace. Bruce Kulick is probably, at least in my opinion, the best guitarist that Kiss has ever had. And no disrespect to Tommy or Ace or Vinnie Vincent or, there you go. They couldn't even play guitar with those claws, those oven mitts. There you go. But that's an original proper Sleestak.
Yep.
That's a Sleestrak.
Sleestrak, yeah.
Sleestrak.
The Sleestrak the thing about Sleestak is they were the slowest predator on the face of the earth.
Yeah, and they were always wandering around like they were always walking around like this. They were waddling like this, and they were just like, but they could never grab anyone. They were. It was like you could run right past them. They were like, damn, Yeah.
So their guitar solos are really slow.
Well, they had a lot of groupies called Sleazy Stacks. Sleazy stacked.
You might notice the way he's fingering that chord. They're all bar chords.
Yeah.
Everything is a bar chord. Very simple polyrhythmic.
They play
Look
2 notes.
He doesn't have fingers.
Now, here's the thing. This how you can tell that he's not real. That guitar's not even plugged in.
Yeah, and he's not using a Swiss pick, so
yeah. Sleestak were awesome. So I'm guessing. So the
He's
answer
using
to
a
my question-
Sleeping.
Yes,
And Jeff David brings up
Oh,
seeing
Sleestak band
that's a band.
covers the hits.
ooh,
Oh,
We
you might. We
we could have them open up for us as Popcorn the band.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wonder what that show's like. I bet the Sleestak show is fucking good.
What's he name? Splice Longgreen with the Sleestak band.
Splice
the Sleestak
Longgreen and
band.
the Sleestak band. Now I wonder if Sid and Marty Krofft get a piece of that because that's clearly copyrighted.
think?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's got
to be some licensing going on there.
Spike Longenly. I got to look into
They
this.
definitely want a piece of the 4 albums they sold.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's see. So Jeff David brings up being 8 years old and seeing the cover for Kiss Destroyer at the store, and he said it was the coolest shit ever. I've been a big Kiss fan for a long time. Destroyer, even to this day, stands as one of the most iconic album covers ever. I mean, for fuck's sakes, really, really just a good-looking album cover. Is that it right there, Johnny? Is that
no, but that's
No, I know. Now that's not a real Sleestak costume.
that's very weird.
It's a painting of one. It's a
Mhm.
painting of one. You want to laugh? A friend of mine owns Enoch, the actual
Oh, cool.
the actual character costume on a mannequin. He owns that. I actually had it on the show Hollywood Treasure years ago. We went to his house and filmed that so you could see Enoch. And it was like one of the coolest things in the world. He still owns it. And just to like go up and like, touch Enoch, touch Enoch neath his tunic.
By the way, I look at that picture of Sleestak and I think of the actress Ileana Douglas.
Which one was that?
She looks like a Sleestak.
I don't know her. What's she
Yeah,
from?
huge eyes. She was in Goodfellas. You'd know her if you saw her.
Sure, I would. I love Goodfellas.
Johnny will Google Ileana Douglas and send us and put a picture up, and you'll know exactly why she looks like a Sleestak. Jim Nicholas asked what my thoughts are of Gene as a bass player. He gets the job done. That's he does. Most of his bass lines are very similar. He's not a great bass player, but he gets the job done.
Fruitcake Tony brings up that Kissery says that Tommy Thayer got in the Ace makeup twice during the 2000-2001 farewell tour, but never actually played. Now, I heard he did play.
I also have heard he's played. There you go.
Is that her?
She looks like a Sleestak.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting girl.
Yeah, she's been in a bunch of movies. Cool actress.
There you go.
I look like a Sleestak. I look like Ernest Borgnine. Don't give me that. Ernest Borgnine and Tor Johnson.
Oh no. Not again.
So we're back to Tor.
I didn't say Ileana Douglas wasn't cool, Jeff T. I just said she looks like a Sleestak. That's what it reminds me of. It's because those Sleestak have huge eyes, and Ileana Douglas has huge eyes.
Let's see. I'm just looking through the chat real quick.
My favorite, Mr. Hellstorm brings up Rock and Roll Over is a great Kiss album. It's one of those ones that gets overlooked. Obviously everybody talks about Love Gun and Destroyer and the Alive records and all that stuff. And
of course,
my two favorite
classic stuff.
My two favorite Kiss records might be Creatures of the Night and Rock and Roll Over.
Creatures of the Night is where Vinnie started. Vinnie Vincent started.
Yeah.
And you got, look, as much as I tease Vinnie Vincent and have fun with his irreliability, he did save Kiss. You got to give the guy credit. He really
more so as a songwriter than as a guitar player, though.
Yeah.
Ooh, Kate Gosselin is a Sleestak. That's pretty good.
Oh, there you go. And she's the ultimate Karen, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. Look at the Karen right there.
That's a Sleestak going to ask for the manager of the store.
Yep.
Right there. So you had a problem with your product you're trying to return? The crossbow's defective. You say you can't hit anything with it? Yeah.
Karen the Sleestak. That's going to be the name of my solo record.
Karen the Sleestak. I
Karen
love
the Sleestak.
What's the deal with that whole Karen thing? I don't even know.
Do you know what Karen is? Okay,
I keep hearing it's the cat. The thing with the cat, right?
No, Karen is a self-entitled middle-aged white woman with a bob haircut that thinks she knows more about everything and is insatiable. You can't do anything to keep Karen happy. No matter what goes on, Karen needs to speak to somebody more important than you.
Usually a manager, a supervisor, or something.
Yeah.
Usually naming someone by name to get them in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's always a middle-aged white girl.
Who
Karen
basically
is usually
like
Becca's mother.
Yeah. Kate Gosselin is the ultimate Karen. And Jay Hannon agrees with my assessment of Bruce Kulick. He was definitely probably the most prolific guitarist Kiss has ever had.
He's probably the most well-rounded guitar player. I mean, I think Vinnie Vincent might be. Vinnie Vincent or the departed Mark St. John might have been technically better shredders than Bruce Kulick, but I think Bruce Kulick has way more diversity and depth to his musical ability as opposed to just straight up, shredding ability, being fast. Mark St. John and Vinnie Vincent are probably the fastest guitar players that played with Kiss, but Bruce is probably the best overall musician that's ever been in the band.
Yeah, and I would say Vinny's the fastest one. I mean, Vinny can shred up a storm.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is he just goes off on these masturbatory shred tangents for like 10 minutes. Even one time, him and Paul Stanley got in a fight on stage where Paul literally had to cut off his solo because it was just going on and on and on. Much like the show, it just goes on and on. And on.
Never ends.
Yeah, and Paul literally just in the middle of his never just like that. Yeah, Paul literally stepped up in the middle of a live show and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Vinnie Vincent, everybody!" And he whispers to him, he's like, "I'm going to kick your ass," and like they literally almost came to blows. So so to speak.
He went backstage. He's like, "I don't understand. The show was going so well, and then Vinny just decided to take a solo. It was too long." And that's the beauty of being in Kiss, is that Vinnie Vincent can just play all day long if he wants to. You're absolutely right, Paul. If we say he can play, he can play. And that's really what it's all about, is playing.
And we do it for the fans.
For the fans. By the way, my impressions of Gene Simmons are not my impressions of Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. They're Craig Gass's impressions of Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. I have lifted them from Craig Gass.
That's all right, man. You're doing Gene is definitely your man.
That was the first voice I learned how to do as a kid, both singing and speaking, because I saw so many watching him on everything. I soaked up as much of that band as I possibly could as a kid.
Well, no, you know what it was? This show was very much like Kiss. It's like, Nesdal used to be here on with me, and Dave used to do a really good Gene Simmons. Oh. And, when he left my night, I said, geez, I really need someone on the show that could do a Gene Simmons. So I said, Johnny, who we gonna get? So you're basically in Nesdal makeup, who was in Gene makeup.
So I'm the Tommy Thayer of Gene Simmons impression. This show. All right, cool. All right, excellent.
Yeah, so it's great, and you're on the payroll for as much as they paid Tommy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh, I like that.
That's badass.
Yeah. Now we couldn't have possibly have planned the Kiss discussion, crossover to the Sleestak discussion, and then to find out that this happened. Just so you know, as brilliant as this show may seem to you, this was an absolute comedy of errors that brought us to this point. That's brilliant. That is serendipity, really, if ever there were one.
I want a shirt that says that.
That's so cool.
You know what? We gotta do a like a Popcorn the Band version of the Kiss Army logo. Just so I invite more lawsuits.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Okay, Fruitcake Tony, to clarify, says Eric Singer finished the last 3 weeks of the farewell tour in 2001. Very cool. Yeah, Kate Gosselin. Ben Tom says,
"Are you okay?"
What?
No, you just kind of froze for a second.
Oh.
You.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
it looked like he was reading the chat, and all of a sudden, you know,
I was reading
You're-
the chat.
I mean, are you really thinking that you're going to get Mancuda's going to be able to read and speak at the same time? No, no.
I'm reading from the chat right now. I'm looking right now at the screen of the chat, reading something.
Oh, I thought something happened.
No, I was-
he's
not
having
yet.
a stroke.
Not yet.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be exactly like what's his name?
Seacrest on the end of
Having a stroke on the air. I'll be like, yeah. So
yeah.
viral video of a lady.
Huh? Did that happen to him?
Yeah.
They said he had some sort of an episode.
Yeah.
It
They're
wasn't all
claiming
the
that-
Bang energy drink?
Could be, yes.
Hey, don't lose the damn sponsors. We're trying to get more. Okay, and by the way, Blue Rhino says thank you for the $5. We really appreciate it. And as a member of Popcorn the band, Blue Rhino has been getting a lot of attention. Not just a
He
member
gets
of
all the
show.
groupies.
He really does. They all love him. Who doesn't want to pet Blue Rhino?
Right.
He's the only sincere and sweet one of us, actually, on the whole damn band. So
Most musically talented of the five of us.
definitely. Have you ever heard him whack at that triangle?
Mhm.
Seriously,
No, it's pretty good. Yep.
that's a talented Rhino. Thank you, SD Design.
Yeah, Pooh Ninja. Mancuda gets the simple jack face when he reads, I love you. You make me happy.
Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Let's see. Ben Tom says,
Ooh, I
Kate
do like Sleestak Lightning.
Ben Tom says Kate Gosselin is a Karen. She's not a Karen. She's the Karen. She's
Yes.
the queen of the Karens. No one is bitchier than Kate Gosselin.
No, you ain't lying.
Yeah, and just add on the fact that there's like 8 other kids there as well. So there you go. Another desirable woman. She wouldn't be so bad if she wasn't such an absolute bitch.
He ain't lying.
Let's see. Jim Nicholas says, speaking of masturbatory, we're going to talk about Vinnie Vincent's Christmas party potato salad. Well, there you go.
I don't know what that is.
He did say he made it himself. Vinnie Vincent had a private Christmas party that you could pay $500 to show up in, and it was a private party where he brought his own food for everyone. And one of the big events was potato salad. So he says, I made it myself. So everyone suddenly kind of looked and wondered. There you go.
Here's the thing. Vinnie Vincent, doesn't get as the kind of credit he deserves because he's such a flake. He's a good guitar player. The thing I don't like about Vinnie's stuff is the production is awful. The records just don't sound great.
I disagree. I love the Vinnie Vincent Invasion records, both of them. I thought they were absolutely phenomenal. Huge fan of the band. But again, you have to look at it as, part of that is the singers there, Yeah, there you go. That's the one with Mark Slaughter and Dana Strum. And who was it? Bruce Rock was the drummer? Bobby Rock, rather?
Bobby Rock, yeah.
Yeah, it was the drummer.
And, the thing with that is, and then you had Robert Fleischman, who was also a fantastic singer.
As the first album, on the first album.
Yeah, they were I don't know. It was just one of those bands. It was almost Nitro before there was Nitro. Like, Robert Fleischman didn't sing anything outside of being high. Like, he and Mark Slaughter were just over the top, and everything was so over the top. And I think that was like, if you look at the Vinnie Vincent records, look at the old Vinnie Vincent Invasion record, pull out the Nitro record, fucking rages or out fucking rages. Look at them next to each other. They're almost the same band.
See, but
I
I disagree. If you're talking vocal ability, Nitro, Jim Gillette and Nitro was just a terrible singer. I've made no secret about it on the show. Make no mistake, nothing against the guitar work on Nitro. Batista. How do you pronounce his name? Batista?
Badio.
Badio?
Michael Badio.
Master Badio.
I just added him on Facebook.
No, look, he's a nice guy. He's a great player. But then you're saddled with Jim Gillette on Nitro, and it's like, it's like, that's the whole song. That's the whole song. Yeah, that's the whole.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Absolutely. And you take someone like, King Diamond, who just, again, I'm a fan of the music. I'm not a fan of his vocals. I mean, save for the Abigail album, which I thought was amazing. I thought the band was better than the singer because he's just singing too high. Now you take Robert Fleischman and Mark Slaughter, that's different because they're melodic, they have great range, and they have power and emotion behind their voices. Both of them were terrific on those Vinnie Vincent Invasion records. And again, Vinny a lot of times went off on these, big guitar solo tangents that, who's going to duplicate it? But I have to say, both those albums were really good, really melodic. Some of my personal favorite 80s metal were those two albums. I thought the band was great. Make no mistake, to this day, huge fan of Slaughter for the same reason, just great vocalists.
And fun fact, Dana Strum was the guy who introduced Ozzy to Randy Rhoads.
And isn't that funny?
How, he's still, Dana Strum does so much stuff behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. I mean, he's Vince Neil's personal assistant, business manager, and in Vince's solo band, and handles a lot of his business affairs and stuff like that. Dana Strum has quietly made a name for himself. And oh yeah, by the way, he's also been in a couple of pretty big bands.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Overall, I'm just a big fan of Slaughter. And look, I'm a fan of Vinny's work. As a person, that's a whole nother story. And no secret to listeners of the show. We've had this conversation before. But let's see. I wish
I could tell you that the sisters took it easy on King Diamond. I wish I could tell you that.
Let's see. Just looking through, seeing what they're talking in the chat. All right, let's move on topic wise. Let's look at concerts that are and are not happening. Let's start with the stadium tour because there's a lot of news on that this week. The stadium tour, which is basically Motley Crue and Def Leppard sharing headline, Poison as the opening act, and Joan Jett as the opening act. Stadium.
There's a fifth band on the list too, but who cares?
On some level, I forget what they are, who they are. They're no one notable, nothing against them, just no one.
Is it Popcorn?
It's not Popcorn.
I wish it was.
We wouldn't take the money.
Yeah, no, we won't sell out. We won't sell out.
We're artists.
We're artists. Yeah. I like how we both thought of that. Yeah, no, Blue Rhino won't compromise his integrity. Neither will JoJo the Chimp.
Right.
But the thing about
we, on the other hand, have come from the Gene Simmons school of how much you got.
Yeah, we're literally chasing change on the highway. So
two
we're
words.
Feed up. Craft service.
Nominal
fee. Yeah, that really should be one of our album titles. Anyway, the stadium tour, the thing about the stadium tour going on now is they have basically held on to announce cancellations. They've held on and rescheduling, and they've just basically cut it to right up to the last minute. Like they're first sending out announcements of what's going on with the June shows right now. And we're just like a pubic hair away from when they're supposed to have those shows. And this is Live Nation, and they're getting a lot of backlash right now because what's going on is, Bon Jovi had a world tour also set to go for the summer. And when this COVID thing came out and tours were getting canceled, John Bon Jovi, nicest guy in the world, one of the smartest businessmen in the world, he said, okay, everyone gets refunds. Until we know what's going on, until this is ending, we don't know when tours are going to happen. Everyone gets refunds. They need money right now, and let's give them immediate refunds, no questions asked. Come get your refunds. We're so sorry. We'll see you guys soon. That's Bon Jovi, and they've always been very, very about the fans. Now here you have Live Nation with the stadium tours. And mind you, folks, these tickets are not wholesale. We're talking really fucking expensive tour seats in the hundreds of dollars, some in the thousands of dollars, depending where you're sitting, plus meet and greets and experiences, all paid for in advance. And Live Nation has not issued any refunds, nor the ability yet to get refunds. Their policy is within 30 days of an announcement of a cancellation or rescheduling, you can ask for a refund at that time, but only within 30 days of our announcement of a rescheduling or a cancellation. And people are livid because right now, so many millions of people are out of work and needing money just for food and basic expenses for their family of these shows that are not going to happen. And because they haven't announced them yet, specifically within 30 days of them happening, people are going nuts trying to get their money back. And basically Live Nation saying, hey, look, we'll put in for a refund within 30 days of our announcement of your specific show. And the people are like, fuck your 30 days. My family needs food. I'm out of work. There's not going to be a show at least until next year at the earliest. Give us our money back. So there's a lot of people, and they're basically citing, hey, be like John Bon Jovi. Give us our refunds. And I, for one, I can't blame them. Look, it's a great lineup tour. I was looking forward to it. A lot of people I know were going. You want stuff like this to happen. You want to support 80s metal. But the fact is, this tour right now isn't going to happen, guys. Give the people their fucking money. If they paid $1,000 a ticket and bought 4 seats, that's 4 G's they need for their family right now. We're in a crisis. Give them their fucking refunds. Stop playing fucking games. Rant over.
Well, and it's interesting because to continue with that, they are starting to announce that some of the shows in the amphitheater here in Phoenix, Arizona are being canceled. And what happened is you've got a lot of people who bought a season pass. All right. For some of the amphitheaters, I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, but here in Arizona at our amphitheater, the outdoor amphitheater, you could buy, and I don't know how much it was. I think it was $99 or $199. I don't remember. But what it was a season pass that you paid one fee and you got lawn seats to every show that came through. It was like a season pass to go to the amphitheater. Well, a bunch of these shows have already been canceled, and they're canceling more shows, and they're sending out all these cancellations, but they're not refunding the cost or prorating the cost of the season pass for the amphitheater.
And that's
that's the stadium that the Cardinals play in. That's where the stadium tour would play, the Def Leppard Motley Crue show. But the amphitheater, our amphitheater here holds 20,000 people outdoors. So there's plenty of room for people to get these season passes. The idea that a bunch of concerts have already been canceled and that no concerts are going to be scheduled. So why did these people pay for a season pass? And I guess there's probably a provision on there that says, look, if the show is canceled due to weather or an act of God or something like that, there's no refund for it. But still, the idea that they're doing that and holding on to this money that should have been, if these people want a refund, they should get a refund. Look, if you buy any product and you choose that you're not going to use it, that kind of deal, you should get a refund. I imagine that at some point there's going to be a slew of lawsuits, some of which will probably be justified, for people trying to get their money back from concerts that have been canceled. Look, the Eagles have rescheduled their canceled 2 or 3 times. I mean, rescheduled their tour 2 or 3 times now so that Don Henley doesn't have to give the money back. Because if you reschedule or postpone, then they don't have to give you a refund. Because the show is still happening. You bought a ticket to the show. It's a binding contract, that kind of a deal. As long as the show is still happening, they can hold you to the contract. But if they cancel the tour, then they have to give you a refund. Bon Jovi cancels. The Eagles have rescheduled a couple of times. And that's kind of why they've been holding off on this stadium tour, because the logistics of rescheduling all these things in these huge stadiums. I mean, putting one of these shows together takes 2 or 3 days to assemble those stages. I'm sure they have 2 different stages that they're going back and forth, that they're flip-flopping or leapfrogging, going from stadium to stadium. That's a big pain in the ass. So,
yeah, and these are big tours with a lot of headlining bands.
No, you're right. And the idea that they can just cancel and reschedule these things, or just reschedule them by date is just a misnomer. Especially these things were supposed to take place in big football stadiums during the summertime. We start getting past September, and now you've got the NFL to think about. And that's a problem because, most of these stadiums get tied up and it takes a couple of days to get this thing set up. So an NFL game happens on Sunday. It takes them at least 48 hours to clean the stadium and get that thing ready to go for another show. So then you're talking about Tuesday. Now, Wednesday rolls around. They start bringing the trucks in. If that show is on a Friday or a Saturday night, they're really up against the gun to make sure that show is safe. I would rather have the show postponed or canceled than walk into a show where a lighting rig has been haphazardly assembled that could possibly fall down. So, the insurance and all the things that come with it is going to be just a nightmare, just a complete nightmare.
Yeah, and by the way, thank you to Jesus Rapes Me. I love that name. For joining as a member of the channel. We appreciate that. And
thank you.
That's not only a great name, that's a great symbol for your name. Right, that's a great avatar there. Yeah, and again, look, Bon Jovi is rescheduling, and other bands are doing it too. But the fact is,
they cancel first, and then they'll redo it.
Exactly. And then look, if you're in a position you can afford a concert, great. You'll come back to the concert and you'll appreciate the idea of what they're doing. But at this point, people just need money to survive right now. I mean, you got a $1,200 stimulus check covering what, 4 months so far? I can't live on that. I'm sorry. Thank God for Bang Energy Drink and Swiss Pick sponsoring the show. Thank God. And our Popcorn the Band residuals. Otherwise, I'd be in the toilet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that we're really, really big in Lithuania. I'm not sure you knew that.
Yeah, well, I know in very small parts of Brazil where crime runs rampant, a lot of the crime is at music stores to Popcorn the Band merchandise.
Not only that, it also tends to be the soundtrack for home invasions.
That's
immediately they put their earbuds in, hit play, Popcorn the Band live. That's the way to go right there.
And let's see, Metal Soda wants to know, and thank you, Ben Tom. Metal Soda wants to know, can we take a guess for what tonight's show and tell guitar is? Because it's coming up in 13 minutes. Tonight's show and tell guitar, it's not a celebrity guitar, but it was a popular brand in the 80s.
Hondo.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, that's a good guess there. I'm trying to think what a good clue would be. I will say it was played. It was the brand of guitar that was played by probably a good third of the bands out there in the 80s. So it's definitely a known brand. So you guys guessed that.
I know what it is.
There's three brands that were really, really played in the 80s, and three brands rather. And
this isn't one of those. This is the fourth one.
No, it is one of those. It is.
Oh, it is. All right. Well,
I see a lot of guesses for. Well, I guess there were four main ones in the 80s. Four, you could say, technically. Let's see. So we have guesses for Kramer, Jackson, BC Rich, Charvel, Ibanez. And this is the way the guesses are going. Metal Soda guesses Charvel. Brian Spaulding guesses Ibanez. Hugh Caldwell, Charvel. Vistalite 1972 Jackson. Island Wander Kramer. Fruitcake Tony guesses Jackson. Sammy Reynolds hedges his bets with Kramer, BC Rich, or Charvel. Okay. Anyway, so there's your clue. We're going to plan that. But right now we're still talking concerts. And speaking of concerts, so you have that refund situation. A new announcement just came out. They held on as long as they could, but what's known as the Jukebox Heroes Tour, that I actually hadn't heard about until just now. Just announced they're canceling their summer tour. And check out this lineup: Foreigner, Kansas, and Europe.
Yeah, one of these bands is not like the others.
Where did that happen? It's almost like you could say for the stadium tour, well, Joan Jett doesn't really fit into glam, but you know what? Joan is a rocking guitarist, and I really like her performance. So I was willing to accept that. This one's kind of weird. I like Foreigner, I like Kansas, and I really like Europe. I don't know how the hell Europe squeezed in there, though, rather than the stadium tour. Wouldn't you figure that you would have Joan Jett more with Foreigner and Kansas, and Europe more with the Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison tour? Wouldn't you have reversed those opening acts? Is it just me?
Well, sometimes you put a draw in the middle. It's almost like when you talk about sports, sometimes the best boxing match is on the undercard, or the best, when you're talking about multiple things, so that you can have what they call a chaser. The opening band, sometimes it doesn't go least popular, most popular, more popular, most popular. Sometimes it goes most popular, middle band, sandwiched in the middle as sort of a chaser, so that people that wanted to see the first band can then take 45 minutes to go to the bathroom, get their concert shirts, go out, have a smoke, whatever it is, while that second band is on. And you saw this more in club shows, like when you would see 4 or 5 bands playing. Band number 1 was kind of fun to check out. The second band was third band was fourth band was great, and then the fifth band was the headliner. So I think that could be why they do that, almost like sequencing an album. I wondered why certain bands get on bills like that, and quite frankly, you can also, you and I both know, you can also pay for the position too. You can pay for sequencing on a concert bill. It's not always headliner, opener. Sometimes it's headliner, opener willing to pay for that position, opener willing to pay for that position, and then third opener. You know what I mean?
I guess, and someone brings in, Pooh Ninja says it appeals to a wider crowd. I guess that's true. I guess if the concert ticket's not too expensive and you're not a big fan, say a Foreigner or Kansas, that, maybe you'll just, you're a Europe fan, you never caught Europe. Maybe you'll buy a ticket to that show just to see Europe. I know I had seen Aerosmith before, but on the Permanent Vacation tour, or maybe it was Pump, Skid Row opened. And I had not had a chance to see Skid Row. Now I'd seen Aerosmith before, and I was like, do I want to see him right now? I don't know, maybe. But then when I heard Skid Row was opening, I went to that show specifically to see Skid Row. And, of course, bonus, Aerosmith is terrific. But I'd seen them before, and I went definitely for Skid Row as the draw to me.
But then sometimes you'll get an opportunity to see a band that you didn't expect to see. Like, I went and saw Testament with Pantera and Wrathchild America opening. So it literally went, Wrathchild America was on first, then Pantera, then Testament was headlining. Wrathchild America was by far the best band on the bill that night. They crushed it. So every once in a while, you'll get an opportunity where you'll see like the 50 or 60, now 60-year-old Kansas Foreigner fan might be exposed to Europe, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, well, this was a pleasant surprise. I didn't see this coming. So for a band like Europe, who never were as big in this country as their legend sort of paints them. I mean, let's face it, they've got one of the great stadium rock songs of all time with The Final Countdown. You hear it in every sporting event. They get great money off of that. Wow, it's the most annoying intro in the history of music. And yet people know it and they love it, and it is what it is. But most people don't know about Europe's other music, thankfully. That said, Foreigner and Kansas fans, Kansas is a much more prog rock band and a much more technically proficient band live than they ever were on the radio than you've ever heard. Same thing with Europe. Europe is a much more rockin' band live than they ever were on the radio or on MTV. People don't realize how hard rockin' that band is. And then you see Foreigner, who have one of the greatest unsung vocalists of his time, and Kelly Hansen filling in for Lou Gramm. Kelly Hansen is a phenomenal singer and crushes it every night with Foreigner. So that's a pretty good triple bill.
It's a great bill.
I just think it is mismatched, though. It's absolutely mismatched. Europe is not that band, or at least is not perceived as being a band that should be on stage with Foreigner and Kansas.
I would see them in the stadium tour easily over Joan Jett. Nothing against Joan Jett.
Sure, yes, but that's more congruent with the brand.
Yeah,
The brand, what you're going to. It's like going to a pizza restaurant and all of a sudden being fed Chinese food. You kind of go, all right, this is cool. It's not what I came here for, but okay.
I've done that.
pizza, Chinese food at the pizza restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I went to a place in Berkeley one time, and it had it was a Chinese place, and they had pizza.
There's a Mexican Chinese buffet in Shawnee, Kansas that I've been to that's outstanding. You walk into the place and it's a Chinese buffet, but behind the counter is the Asian guy. I don't know if he's Korean or Chinese or whatever, but he's behind the counter, and then behind him is all of the calling cards so that you can call in Mexico, the prepaid calling cards. And then there's one steam tray has like, you know, your General Tso's chicken and orange chicken and all that stuff. And the next steam tray over has tortillas and cheese and beans and gruel and all the menudo and all the stuff that kind of goes into a taco. It's the greatest combination of all time, the Chinese Mexican buffet. Shawnee, Kansas. Put that on your tour itinerary.
We have places in California. I make fun of them all the time. You see world famous roast beef or something like that, and then burgers, pizza, chicken, gyros, Mexican food, Chinese food. I mean, like every fucking genre in this little shit stand that you know has a big world famous sign, and you're like,
world famous.
It's world famous for like infestation or something, but it's like you just look at this and you're like, I can't imagine even finding this place on a map, much less world famous. It's like a little Kodak, you know, drive up stand. You remember the Kodak photomat stands?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. It's like a phone booth almost, but they have world famous pastrami and suddenly fish sticks. It's like, oh, Johnny, do you like fish sticks?
I love fish sticks.
You like fish sticks in your mouth? Those little
You
fish.
like fish sticks? You take the fish
No.
sticks, you put them in your mouth.
You tickle your balls.
Tickle the fish sticks. I love fish sticks.
Get a wide mouth bass around me. Speaking of wide mouth bass, someone in the chat pointed out that Joey Tempest had his pants around his ankles for the entire period of the 80s. Yeah, everyone loved Joey Tempest. He was one of those pretty boys, and that Final Countdown song was fucking everywhere.
Yeah. No, it's kind of the question is, who was better looking, Joey Tempest or Kip Winger?
Kip Winger. Well, Kip has that reputation for it, you know. I think Kip's a better artist. I think Winger was a better band, obviously.
Winger's a better band, yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly a better band. Europe was bigger outside of the United States than they were here. They're kind of like one of those bands like Magnum.
Were they big in Europe?
And
Well,
Thunder.
Magnum's always big. Anytime I go to the condom store, I ask for Magnum, and they're huge, way too big.
Not
way
true. Yeah, way big, dude.
Well, I get micros, Trojan micros. So
Yeah, that's the way I would go with it. And then you microwave them so they shrink. Like
You
shrinky
bet.
dinks. That's what you get. You get the Trojan shrinky dinks.
that's my porn name.
Yeah. But no, Magnum and Thunder and Europe. There were a couple of those bands that were bigger outside of the United States than they ever, like Motorhead. Motorhead way bigger outside the United States than they were here.
Well, Europe was what? Swedish?
I think so, yeah. Swedish or Swiss, one of the two. I don't care.
Okay.
I think they're Swedish though.
Like Swedish picks.
Yeah, like
There you
Swedish picks. No difference between Swedish picks
And Swiss picks. Like I used to do that all the time with Crocus. I'm like, oh, they're Swedish. No, they're not. Damn it.
yeah. And by the way, this condom talk brought to you by Bang Energy Drink. Thank you, Bang Energy Drink, for putting up with us. I'm sure Magnum condom would fit right over your can and stick it right in your can too. So
By the
thank
way,
you.
I'm surprised that's not a bad 80s hair band. Bang Magnum. Bang
There probably-
Magnum.
There probably is a band name that. And
Bang
Metal Soda.
Magnum.
Metal Soda also brings up John Norum is an underrated guitarist. He is.
Sure.
He's absolutely a terrific guitarist.
I think Reb Beach is a better guitar player. Metal Soda asked that question. Who's a better guitarist, John Norm or Reb Beach? Reb Beach.
Reb Beach, definitely.
Reb Beach is in Steve Vai territory. That's how good he is.
Yeah, really
But you
underrated.
just don't know.
He really underrated because he was with Kip Winger. And make no mistake, huge Winger fans. A lot of us on the channel are, but they got a bad rap because Kip was too pretty for a lot of metalheads, and they just didn't get taken seriously. And there's Reb shredding and Kip writing. And keep in mind, Kip has street cred. The guy was in Alice Cooper's band. So it's like he didn't come out of nowhere as just a pretty face. The guy could play, you know? So
yeah, no, but there are certain guys that don't get mentioned up there with the greats of guitar in that era, and Reb Beach is one of them because of that. But then when you see some of the other stuff he's done, I mean, man, even listen to the solo in like 17 or Madeleine. I mean, he's just crushing it. And those are not easy solos. Those aren't CC DeVille solos. Those are very intricate and great solos, and he's quick, and his picking is precise. He's up there with the Nunos and the Paul Gilberts and the Steve Vais. He's that good. But
I think
he's never going to get. I don't know if he's better than Nuno.
Nothing.
That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison. Those guys are to me, I think, would be a great, A/B, mix them back and forth, listen to the best of each band. But he's that good. Reb Beach is a fantastic guitar player. Doesn't get mentioned. Same thing with Doug Aldrich. There's a couple of those guys. And of course, those guys were both in Whitesnake together and made great music.
Yeah. And Doug had Lion and Hurricane and, really, really unknown heroes for guitar. For those of us that, know, that's a whole different animal.
And then there's Burning Rain. If you've never listened to Burning Rain.
I've heard Burning Rain too.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is time for Guitar Show and Tell.
I have to pee.
While Paul's taking a leak. Yeah. And take a second. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. But take a second. Go down. Leave a thumbs up on the video. Because that's something that doesn't cost you anything. Oh, boy. Paul's going to pee with his mic on. Here we go. Right now, he's like, you kids, don't make any noises. I don't want anyone to know you're here. All right? Just shh, play with the toys, and I'll be over with the show soon. And don't mind my scratching. It's just a burning sensation I have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. Oh, speaking of burning sensation, Ben Tom says, is burning rain when you pee after getting up a venereal disease? That could be why they named the band that. Anyway, so let's see. A lot of you guys and girls in the chat were talking about the guitar for show and tell. What is it? And I mentioned it was probably one of the top 3 most played, or top 4 most played guitars in the 80s. And the majority of guesses were Kramer, Jackson, Charvel, and BC Rich. And it is indeed one of those. And basically, this is one of my favorite brands. I've made no secret about it. This particular guitar gets a lot of play from me. This is one of my personal go-tos. And I just think it looks spectacular, plays spectacular. I love a dirty maple neck just to match my dirty mind. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny. Look at that thing. Now, this bad boy is a San Dimas Charvel from, let's see, this one's about 1984. And this is a really, really rare finish. This is a red burst. You guys have seen a lot of blue bursts where they basically do the center of it in like a silvery mist and the outskirts in blue. This is a red version of that. And it's the only one in Charvel that I've ever seen. So I was really, really thrilled to get this. San Dimas Charvel, 1984. And this was when some of the best guitars ever in the 80s were made in San Dimas. This was the original company that, filtered off into being Jackson as well. They branched off when Randy Rhoads wanted his guitars. Grover Jackson took Charvel, which he bought from Wayne Charvel, branched off into Jackson, but kept Charvel going in San Dimas until 1986. And these are guitars that a lot of brands copy. I know the BC Rich Gunslinger necks were modeled after these because these are fast playing, thin, fast D-shaped neck with usually with oiled, and there goes the camera, usually with oiled finishes, and very, very fast players, really, really good. And this particular one, this has a Kahler because, you know, Floyd's for the most part were committed to Kramer at the time. You have 2 Duncan pickups in there. 1 volume, 1 pickup selector switch. And look how dirty this maple neck is. This gets a lot of love from me. It's the Charvel pointed headstock. Now keep in mind, Charvel's originally, because they were modeled after hot rodded fenders, basically was the premise of doing a hot rodded Strat. They originally had Strat headstocks. And in 1982, they started getting feedback from Fender about those and them telling, what's going on there?
Nothing. We're good.
What the fuck is happening? Holy shit. You busted up the place.
Couldn't hear it.
I got it. Anyway, so Charvel had Strat headstocks until 1982 when they basically got a cease and desist from Fender saying using our copyright. So they said, you know what? Let's come out with something cool, 80s. Sharp and pointy was the order of the day. And that's what they did. That classic Charvel logo. Nice thing about the Kahler nut is it doesn't go through the back of the neck, so it's a little stronger. And look, the red burst is on the back too, which is great because a lot of times the paint job doesn't extend that way onto the back. Sometimes they just do it on the front and they just do a back that's just black and then all the color is on the front. But San Dimas neck plate, which in themselves are very valuable. Thanks for putting that in front of it, Johnny. There you go. Brian Spalding, not a fan of Kahler, but that's okay because I'm a fan of Kahler and Floyd and V-Trem and quads, and you know I love all that shit. I've never had a problem with most bridges or trems, and Kahlers for me they're comfy. They're definitely a lot easier to set up than a Floyd, and you know look, they're all good in different ways. I get along very well with an old Kahler. But again, the thing about this is, you know, to see a red burst instead of a blue burst is really unique. And it's a vintage original San Dimas finish. And I can't even describe how fast this neck is. It's so smooth. And, you know, just again, oiled maple, dirty maple. And the thing about dirty maple, for those that don't know, don't clean it. I always tell people ask me all the time, hey, what do you clean your guitar neck with? And I'm like, oh, I use F1 oil and you use that on maple. And I'm like, maple, don't clean maple. If you want to get rid of a little gunk, okay, you can, you know, wipe it down, but don't clean maple. It's faster and slicker when it's dirty. It just plays better. It breaks in better. All those oils from your fingers, what it does to the necks and the back of the necks and the fretboard, it makes it a little dirty and just play beautiful. Can you see
that's the seasoning, like when people talk about pans that get seasoned in, when chefs
like a cast iron pan.
Yeah, that's what happens when you gunk up a neck.
Yeah, just look at that. Look at how dirty that is. It gets a lot of love. And not that my hands are always dirty, but it's, you know, it's the oils in your finger. And again, it's like a pearlized metallic paint and just plays phenomenal. Body is likely older, as most of these Super Strat bodies were at the time. There's the tuners for you guys. And you got that Charvel classic logo. They're not labeled as Schallers. I believe they are, but they're not labeled as such. They could be, or they could be. They could be, or they could be knockoffs of Shallows. But I think back then they weren't really knocking them off, right? Probably just indiscreet.
They could be, or they couldn't be.
They might, or they might not be Shallows. So there's your choice, folks. And
they
there's
may be
50-50 shot,
or they may not be.
You do. And there's the classic Charvel logo, the little guitar logo, made in San Dimas, California. USA made 80s guitars are so fucking good. And Charvel made some of the best of them. And guys like Warren DeMartini played them. And, just a lot of guys. George Lynch played them at one point. His booger guitar was a Charvel. He had a couple of others. The orange and black camo was a similar guitar to this. But really, really just, performance guitars. Not the brand, but just really, really built to perform. And just look at that finish. Just terrific.
Just terrific.
Just terrific.
That's just terrific. That is just terrific.
Yeah, and that is today's show and tell guitar. 1984 San Dimas Charvel in red burst. Dual humbucker. Pointy headstock. One of my personal go-to guitars that I use a lot. So there you go, guys and gals. And again, they modeled BC Rich Gunslingers after these. That was the inspiration for them because they were just so good. And Brian McCord, yes, I'll mail this to you. It'll be arriving November 7th. So just look for that in the mail. Mule Blues says, eat some salami before playing. Get that greased up neck feel. Nice.
All that said, the new Charvels that are coming out of Mexico are also fantastic guitars. For whatever it's worth, Fender has decided that the Charvel brand should get extra quality control, and they are really, really good guitars.
The Mexican guitars are good. I'm biased. I've played them at NAMM, but I'm really, really biased to the USA ones. And I have to say, the USA Custom Shop is one of the few brands that today I still say makes a terrific, terrific guitar. A lot of brands have just deteriorated of ownership changes and whatnot. Charvel's Custom Shop, fucking phenomenal. Really cranking out good stuff every year, consistent.
Yeah, I have the Art Series EVH guitars out of the Charvel USA Custom Shop, and they are phenomenal guitars. Couldn't be nicer. I mean, just they play exactly what you would want a Charvel to play for. A premium guitar. When you're talking about premium guitars and what you would pay for a premium guitar, and you pick one up and you play it, you go, oh, well, that's what a premium guitar feels like.
Yeah, and they're terrific. I mean, these are still a lot of the same craftsmen. You got Red Dave and Mike Shannon and Tim, and a lot of the guys are the same guys that were building them in the early 80s. So they're the same guys that built Randy Rhoads' guitar and Warren's guitars, and a lot of the same craftsmen are there, and they take the time in that custom shop to really do it. So.
I bought a couple of GJ2 guitars that are Grover Jackson hand built them. When you can get a guitar hand built by one of the guys that invented that style guitar and built them from the day, made with the same dies and the same tools and the same templates that they were made in the original, Charvel Jackson shop. Yeah, you buy those. Now he's obviously working with Friedman and doing some other stuff, but when he was making those guitars himself out of his own wood shop, absolutely you pick one of those up and hang on to it because they're phenomenal guitars. There's something to be said for a craftsman building the guitar. That's the guitar as a work of art. A little bit of their own sweat and a little bit of their own blood goes into it. And it's no different than buying a painting or buying a Carroll Shelby Mustang or anything that is built by a quality craftsman. You hang on to those guitars forever. And those 80s Charvels, tough to find a good USA one for a decent price anymore because they're works of art.
And I'll tell you, we're talking about custom shops. BC Rich recently announced that Neil Moser, who originally worked in the shop back in the 80s and has been doing the Moser custom shop stuff on his own. You know, he designed the bitch, he designed the seagull, a lot of designs for BC Rich. The version was also his design, and he helped technically create the Warlock because it was really just an inverted bitch with a cut. So, I mean, you know, Neil Moser is legendary. He's actually returning to work with BC Rich. So now it's not going to be just the Moser custom shop. It's going to be BC Rich featuring Neil Moser running their custom shop. So that's, you know, that's a big announcement.
There was a rumor that BC Rich was for sale.
It was.
Yeah, and that one Saul Hudson was going to be the purchaser, one of the primary investors in it at one point.
And yes, and I can't really get into that, but we'll just say that there is something to that rumor. But I can tell you that Slash is not involved right now with BC Rich. And he does play them though, and he religiously
they did, and
he's not an endorsee. I got to point this out. Slash is not an endorsee. He's a Gibson endorsee. He plays BC Rich bitches by choice because they're just that good guitars, you know, and that's from their custom shop. But again, you know, those were built by Ron. New ones will be built by Neil. And that's big stuff because BC Rich is another favorite brand of mine. But I've been behind the Charvel custom shop and Jackson for a number of years. They're just fucking terrific, you know. So there you go. That's this week's show and tell guitar, boys and girls. Look at that baby. Very cool. Let's get back to some fun music news. Let's see. We talked about Tommy Thayer. We talked about tours. I have a couple of things. Let's go with the war going on right now and getting worse between Roger Waters and David Gilmour of Pink Floyd.
Now that seemed like it was going to cool down for a while. Those guys seemed like they were actually talking, and like that all of a sudden things are going to go. There might have been, they collaborated on putting out some reissues and some box sets and all that stuff and some of the live stuff. And then all of a sudden something went south again. And it appears that the air of discontent comes from, surprise, Roger Waters.
I mean, it depends whose side you take. I mean, here's the thing. Giving a little history, Waters left the band in 85 and Gilmour didn't take it well. And there's been just friction ever since then, on and off to different degrees over the years. And the thing that happened recently was Roger Waters and his band put out a version of, like a lot of people doing special concerts and whatever online. He put out a special version of the song Mother that Pink Floyd did in 1979 with him singing and his band. And he basically wanted to post it on the Pink Floyd website. The problem is the Pink Floyd website is run by David Gilmour, who never left the band. And David basically feels that he is essentially Pink Floyd since Roger left. Now, Roger's argument is, well, you know, the website is basically for all Pink Floyd fans and Pink Floyd related things. Some band members' wives have written books and read chapters of them live on videos on the Pink Floyd website. Why shouldn't I, being the singer for Pink Floyd for a time, be able to, post a video of something, especially for, those in quarantine right now that really want to see some new music. And here it is. Why can't I post on the Pink Floyd website? And David's response is basically, you're not in Pink Floyd. You have no rights to it. It's a gray area to me anyway. It's a gray area because, well, hold on. These book chapters had nothing to do with Pink Floyd. This was someone in the band's wife writing a book and posting videos, reading chapters of these books, nothing to do with the band, on the website because they're related to the band.
Well,
so
that's
they
right.
get
Though.
airtime.
But that's right. If you have a
But
business,
the wife's not in the
But
band though.
if you have a business and your kid, let's just say John Mancuda has his own store and your kid does something and you want to sell it in your store under your brand, that's your choice. If you have an ex-employee that has a product and no longer works for your store, they have no right to put their stuff in your store. It's your store. When you leave a band, as much as and let's make no mistake about it, I wish Pink Floyd were still together. I wish Roger and David could get along because
And they
there's
did.
a chemistry there.
They did try. Roger put together a peace talks, and this is what you were mentioning earlier. He did put together a sit down where it looked like they were working it out, but then it fell apart.
Right. But my point is, he's no longer in the band. And this is typical of a lot of guys. Dennis DeYoung does this with Styx. David Lee Roth did it with Van Halen. You know, he tried to glom on it. Sammy Hagar does it now. Ex-members of bands, when you make the choice to leave the band, you're no longer able to use that band as a conduit through which you can get your own music. It's like any other job. It's, when you leave a guitar company or when you leave any business, you can't say, hey, like the radio station I worked at in Northern California, I can't call them tomorrow and go, hey, by the way, run my show. I used to work for you. I don't work for you anymore. Now, is Roger still a voting member of the corporation is a question.
I'm not sure of that, but I will say this. The material that he helped make is all over that website.
Right. No, I understand that. And he gets paid for that. He gets his royalty as a partial owner of that publishing. Whatever deal was cut, he gets his piece. Or if he sold all of that publishing or lost that publishing to David Gilmour and or whom the corporation owns Pink Floyd now, then he got his piece of money and he abdicates all rights to future involvement with it. We all know he was involved in it, but when it's all said and done, if he got a contract, again, this is where the music business comes back into what we were talking about earlier with KISS. It's a business. And when you leave the business, you give up all rights to the business. So, as much as I would wish that Gilmour and Waters were together, Roger Waters has no right to any real estate on the Pink Floyd website. Unfortunately, he can ask. And if Gilmour, out of the, charitable notion in his heart, feels like, hey, everybody's involved in the quarantine right now, this would be a great way to open the door and let this happen here. That would be fantastic. It would be a nice way to mend some fences. But when it's all said and done, I think Gilmour is 100% correct in this.
I would agree with you, like totally, because I get, someone posted online, hey, Sebastian Bach can't post on Skid Row's website. And, same thing with Sammy Hagar on Van Halen. I get that. The only difference I'm saying is if it wasn't for those books of someone's wives on that website, I would say not even debatable. But the idea that you've taken the website and you're kind of fucking with it, if the fans go on to a Pink Floyd website,
it's your business.
But it's you don't see Metallica doing that. If you went on Metallica's website and you saw Hostess fruit pies being sold because someone's wife really loves fruit pie, wouldn't you be like, what the fuck is this?
Yes, but that's got nothing to do with, those are mutually exclusive decisions. I think it's a damning of the brand. I think it absolutely damages the brand. I think pushing their wife or anything but that's your business. It's your business. If you want to expand your business to include something that isn't congruent with the actual brand, you're diluting your own brand. That doesn't mean an ex-employee should be able to do that. That's your choice to dilute the brand. I don't agree with them putting the book. Now, if you want to put a link, on the right-hand side there, the thing, and say, hey, my wife put out a book. Here's the website, David Gilmour's wife's book.com. Great. I wouldn't host it on the Pink Floyd site, but once you've made that decision, that's your decision as a business owner to do that. You're right. The book thing shouldn't be there. If Roger Waters can't put his stuff on a Pink Floyd site, especially given the fact that it's Pink Floyd music that David Gilmour has a piece of the copyright to, I think that fits more on their website than the book chapters. You're absolutely right there. I think they're mutually exclusive decisions. I think one of them is more damaging to the brand than the other, and I think that the books are more damaging than putting a Roger Waters song up there.
Well, let's agree to disagree. I would normally say that the Roger Waters is wrong. I don't know, something about it bothers me. And maybe it's just me saying, you know what? I really do wish they would just bury this fucking hatchet. Because
Sure.
it's just stupid and we're all
Agreed.
getting older. And, how long are your surviving members going to, be able to maybe get together and do something? Because, I'd love to see it again. Everyone would. But, look, with that said, I'm sorry to see that this is going on, especially right now during the whole COVID thing. I like the idea that he put up a video for Mother, and you can check it out on YouTube. Roger Waters' mother, or Roger Waters' Pink Floyd mother. And I think, look, is what it is. They're butting heads and whatever, and we get to suffer for it.
Look, if the Davies brothers can agree, and if the Robinson brothers can agree, and if Van Halen and Roth can agree, and the Eagles can agree, at some point somebody will put up enough zeros to put those guys back on a stage together again. Let's face it, the last Pink Floyd album was terrible, and that actually had some contributions from, I think, Gilmour's wife. I think she wrote lyrics for the last Pink Floyd record. That's when the Yoko factor kicks in, and you start to think to yourself, okay, this is a problem. This is bad for the band.
Yoko is always a problem for the band.
No, I mean, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying, though. I do. Once you start saying, hey, this is Pink Floyd. Oh, by the way, this is a song. Hello, Janine. That Janine has some ideas for the band now. She thinks we should all dress up in makeup. That's sort of a deal where it's very Spinal Tapian. It just proves how the relevance of that movie is. It happens all the time. Somebody's girlfriend, somebody's wife, somebody's collaborative partner suddenly puts their fingers, gets their talons into the actual band, and the band suffers in the end for it.
Yeah, and Mark Dillon brings up Guns N' Roses. Slash and Axl could come together for the right money. Now they're all over the place. Lynch and Dokken for 7 shows in Japan, or 6 shows. That was a lot of money per show. You bet they got back together. You don't even have to talk to me on stage. You don't have to talk to me backstage. Just play with me the songs, play for the audience, and go on your way. I mean, look at KISS.
That's how Aerosmith works.
Ace and Peter came back for a while. I mean, the list goes on and on. So
Aerosmith works that way today. To this day, Aerosmith don't talk to each other before they go on stage. A guy named John Bianelli, who's their local tour, he's their tour manager and sort of a personal assistant to the band. He's like a 6th member of the band. John Bianelli goes from dressing room to dressing room. They don't share dressing rooms. Goes from dressing room to dressing room, and he holds up a list of the set list tonight, and he has the band sign off on the songs they all want to play, and then Bianelli goes and puts the set list together, puts it in the prompter, and they know what songs they're going to play together. They don't even talk to each other before they jump on stage that night. It's
that whole thing,
even talk.
That whole thing with Joey, not letting Joey in to play was ridiculous. I mean, look, there's a lot of friction. Look, I mean, Blue Rhino was bullied for a little while by JoJo because he gets all the girls' attention, and JoJo's throwing his fucking instruments, and you can't do that. You go on stage and hop on stage, do your bit, hop off stage, and you're done. I mean, that's how Popcorn the band gets along for what we do.
I'm not even sure Blue Rhino and I haven't spoken in weeks.
Well, I should put it together, and
have his people call my people.
All right. Well, at least you all got people,
Right.
That's how these meshings happen, I mean, look, I'm jealous on this show. Blue Rhino gets all the fan mail. Blue Rhino, and he's got a very
he can read.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying. He can talk too, but, let's see. Steve Carmichael. Steve Carmichael, Dane Zimmerman, Amanda Coombs, a lot of people coming in. By the way, if you haven't left a thumbs up yet, or if you're new in the room, please leave a thumbs up on the video. Really appreciate it. Just take a second. Just leave a little like button. Did you guys hear the new Dee Snider song, Prove Me Wrong? I have not.
I have not either.
Did you? I didn't even know he had a new.
No.
I knew we talked last week about D writing books and doing movie stuff, but I
didn't
did
buy the
not
last
know.
D solo record. Did you buy the last D solo record?
I didn't,
I don't know.
and that's rare for me.
I don't know.
I don't have it. I know I don't have it, and I love
about-
D. I love D.
I'm about to look to see if I bought it, because if I did, I don't even know I own it.
There you go. Send it to me. Send it to me, baby. Send it to me. Yeah. I don't know. And like I said last week, these taking a year off specifically to do writing, both book and script, and movie directing projects. So not that anything's in production right now, because that would be nice. But yeah, no, I have not heard it. Is it good? Let's see what he says. He's gonna be like, no, that's why I brought it up, asshole. No.
Oh.
So this is a problem. All right.
You don't have
I
it?
own this. No, I own this one. All right,
Okay.
never let the bastards get you down.
Right.
I own D Does Broadway,
I
which is actually really good.
don't have that
And
one.
You don't have that one?
I don't have the D Does Broadway.
It's actually pretty good. And I do own the latest D Snyder album, and I've
Really?
never listened to it.
And that's the song he was talking about?
No. This is on the album before the.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
assuming
okay.
this new song, but this is a record that he did, and he wrote some stuff with Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed and some other guys, and it's a very sort of heavy record for D. It's not the kind of D stuff that you're used to hearing, like on the solo record or the Desperado record or the Widowmaker records.
Is it as heavy as the really early Twisted Sister stuff?
Yeah, it's heavier than that. It's like modern metal.
Really?
It's more modern. Yeah, it's
so like heavier than, say, like Under the Blade or something.
Yeah, stuff like that. Well, it's I don't know if it's heavier so much as it is updated. I mean, it sounds really compressed and really digital. Okay. Obviously the recording style is different, but it's not. But it's funny. I don't care. Like that's a great example of me owning a record that I didn't even know I owned, because I have OCD and have to own everything that the guy puts out.
I do the same thing. I mean, like I said, I didn't get the Dion Broadway. I didn't get the...
Oh,
yeah, I know.
man.
Yeah.
Memories!
It's actually really it's really fun.
Light!
It's really fun. The thing that sucks about it is when you read the list of people that he's singing with. D Does Broadway with Clay Aiken.
Oh boy.
Cyndi Lauper.
I would not want to be known as someone who's done Clay Aiken or Cyndi Lauper.
Patti LuPone and Baby Newworth, who, by the way, was cute.
Oh.
Lilith Crane, Baby Newworth.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's and of course I have the Desperado record and the Widowmaker records. The Widowmaker records that D did were fantastic.
They're good. They're very good.
Yeah, they're really good stuff. And
But
the
they were
Desperado
also
record
done-
is great too.
They were also done what? Like in the early 90s?
Yeah.
Widowmaker? Yeah, so they were still at that time, playing that metal genre music on the radio that, hey, D. Snyder went from this band to this band. Casual stuff, You won't hear that casually today.
So I'm sure this new D. Snyder song is probably more in the vein of that heavy stuff than it is in his, the classic D. Snyder.
Well, I'm
It's funny,
going
when
to
he-
check it out.
When he's away from Twisted Sister, D is, I think, a little bit heavier, a little angrier, a little more aggro than he is. Like Twisted Sister became such a cartoon band that he sort of embraced that too much and made it sort of fun.
Well, it was fun. And look, by embracing it, just like Poison embraced the makeup and Motley Crue embraced the makeup and the pentagrams, and Alice Cooper does his thing. I mean, Twisted Sister was a fun fucking 80s metal party band. And that crazy hair and makeup, I mean, that really was fun. Hey, Colleen. It really was fun. I mean, how many times have you just laughed, even to this day, watching the We're Not Gonna Take It video?
Sure.
As they're coming. As they're coming through the door and smashing the principal's head against the wall,
my favorite Twisted record is still "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll." I thought that was sort of the balance between the early,
That was a great one.
the punkier stuff, and then before they got silly, with the cartoony stuff. I mean, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll is a great record. And if you're not familiar with the Widowmaker stuff, you should probably check that out. That'd be another one of your YouTube rabbit holes to go through. And Desperado was a sort of short-lived band that it's very difficult to find their music.
I have that one.
But really, it's a great record. I think the version I have is a bootleg. I don't think it was ever pressed on CD.
I might have gotten a demo. I'm not sure. I was getting a lot of stuff in the 80s, just like whatever I could find, that I didn't have.
I'm looking for it right now. I see it. Hang on. I'll grab it.
That's why I said about my penis. I'm looking for it. Oh, wait, I see it. Let me grab it. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, Colin. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Nightbot.
There you go. There's Desperado. Bloodied but Unbowed is the name of the record.
Desperado.
And the band, you'll like this. The band features Dee Snider, Mark Russell, Bernie Torme,
there you
guitar,
go,
and Clive Burr, the late Clive Burr.
Bernie Torme.
Yeah. So this was a pretty cool record, and I think it's a bootleg, or it was a European label that got a hold of the rights to put the album out.
What year was that?
The Desperado record? Jesus. Hang on, let me put on my old man glasses.
Well, back in my day,
Let me put on my old man glasses.
we literally used Coke bottles to see.
My dog is shredding the other room. 1996.
I hope it's not a woman. I'm sorry, 96, you said?
96, yeah.
There you go.
I think it was recorded before then, but I think that's when it was released.
Yeah, probably that long to take someone to find a producer willing to put out metal music then.
Right.
Such a bad
record,
time.
though.
Yeah, great record. Great stuff. And Dee's a great writer. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And again, the Widowmaker records are super heavy, like compared to what he was doing with Twisted.
Mr. Hellstorm 74 says Al Pitrelli was in Widowmaker.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah, Widowmakers are good. I got those two. They put out 2 records.
Al Pitrelli gets around, man.
Busy
Really?
guitar player. Hang on, dog shredding something.
Oh, no. I hope it's not all the money in your wallet. Watch, it's really a woman bound and gagged, hopping away like I did at Dave's house.
I remember that. That was when all the power was out.
Yeah, and
When I had to run the internet from my car battery.
I don't think it was that specific episode though. That was a
No,
different
it was.
episode. You sure?
I think it was because
I remember it was a Saturday night. I remember that.
It
It was
was.
a Saturday.
I'm thinking that was John Biel.
Check the archives, folks, of a Saturday Night Live episode. I was bound and gagged.
Yeah, you're in the thumbnail behind Dave, and you're tied up.
So there's something to look forward to. For those of you on iHeartRadio, you bought some great content in our show. Thanks. You can't lose.
Yeah, John Biel. What?
Yeah.
Huh?
John Biel, do you remember that episode? I was basically, it was a Saturday night, and I specifically just pulled a little publicity stunt at Nesdall's house, where I was totally bound and gagged in my underwear, and just, the show's going on and Dave's talking, and you see behind him, I'm hopping away as a bound and gagged person in their underwear. I'm just hopping away behind him, just trying to get out of the house. It's just a little stunt, just for fun. So there you go. You guys missed that. Speaking of other metal that's new, I discovered 2 bands this weekend that people have turned me on to. First one I'm going to say is and this is what I call new generation metal. So it's been around for the last 10 years, just something that I just either got turned on to or discovered. The band is called Within Temptation.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a female vocalist that just belts stuff out. Very good, very melodic. So write it down, look on YouTube after the show. check out the band. They're kind of like Paramore a lot, with a really powerful female vocalist, almost like a Soraya kind of vibe, and really, really good stuff. They have a bunch of videos on there. I think they got together in 2006 or so, and they've been playing out and really deserve some attention. Within Temptation, check out the song Faster. That's probably my favorite one that I heard. I heard a bunch of them, but they're really good. Have you heard of them, Paul? Do you have them?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't listen to them, but yeah, I've heard of them. Not really my thing so much, but I know why people dig on them. I see. What I do for a living right now, I live in a different world. So a lot of the new bands are played on our sister station. So I hear them. I kind of go, oh, that's kind of neat, but I don't really seek out their music. But from what I understand, very well-regarded band that do very well. I'm just not familiar with them.
I just people turn me on to these bands.
Right. Yeah.
And, and thank you, Steffi, for turning me on to them. And I just never heard of them. And again, anything came out in the 80s or early 90s. Hey, Sandra, I heard of them at that time, because I was really at the music store every fucking day. Hey, what came out new? Let me see what you got. What metal came out? What hard rock came out? What thrash came out? And I would check through these CDs, and a lot of times they'd let me listen to it or play it in the store or whatever, and I'd wind up buying a couple of them. So I was really, really, specifically paying attention to what was going on, just like Nesdal is in the background right now. Let's see. Did I hop by yet?
Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, there I am hopping by. I'm in my underwear, tied up, hopping away.
Wasn't that New Year? I thought that was New Year's Eve.
No, New Year's Eve, Johnny and I did a 9-hour show.
Oh yes, I remember that. Yeah, never mind.
This was when my power was out and I was running the show for my car battery.
This is where Dave is trying to keep a straight face and showing off this cool Charvel of his. and there I am in the background of his house in my underwear, bound and gagged, trying to get the house keys to escape his house.
By the way, I think that Charvel is for sale.
It is right now, actually, and you can contact our buddy Dave Nesdal if you want. There I am. See, I'm calling for help. But
this was a very, very disturbing moment in my friendship with you.
But it's a fun moment, though.
It was,
and
really
nobody knew about it. By the way, only Dave and I knew about it. So this was like totally to everyone, both on the show and audience.
What's great is Dave has no idea what's going on because he doesn't have a monitor of it.
Yeah. And I'm there hopping away, and I'm dropping the keys to the house, trying to get another set of keys to get out of the house. And then everyone expected me once I broke loose to come on the show, and I just drove away, which was the most fun part of it.
Yeah, I think you texted him or something like that, and we were all like, "When's he coming back?" Like,
yeah, and I was just up there. I just went. Well, I drove all the way to his house just to do that publicity stunt, and that was it. It was just about that 2 minutes of comedic unexpected stuff.
And I think that's the last time I ever saw Nesdal laugh.
And by the way, fans of our buddy Dave, you could check him out on Thursday nights on his show, Nez Says, on YouTube.
Yeah, you want to talk about a guitar nerd, and I say that with all affection.
With love. With love.
No, David knows. David has forgotten more about guitar than most of us will ever know.
Yeah.
He has an uber impressive collection, as you can tell just by looking at this little clip. And if you really want to dig deep into the technical aspects and serious aspects of what it takes to get into real great guitar collecting and building and equipment, Dave knows it.
Yeah. And so, there you go. Dave is a wealth of knowledge of guitars and repairs, and he has a website, the guitarwhisper.guru, if you want to check out, because he builds custom guitars too. Him and his partner build custom Van Halen guitars and Lynch guitars and all sorts of cool stuff. So check that out also, my buddy Dave. But there you go. So that was that clip. But anyway, getting back to new metal. So that was Within Temptation. And like I said, back in the day, I would always catch new stuff coming out. And shalom, internet money.
Shalom.
Shalom, everybody. Shalom, internet
Hello.
money. Hey. I would always catch new stuff coming out because back in the day, there were just always multiple cassettes or CDs to buy at the music store. Johnny, go on something Within Temptation, just so we give him a little plug, if you could, please. So yeah, that's Within Temptation, and they have a lot of videos out, really good songs. I recommend the one that's called Faster, but I don't think you're gonna go wrong with any of them if you like it. Very melodic and cool stuff. So I was really happy that I was turned on by that. Let's see. We got it up.
When you're done, I have a band that I ended up buying the back catalog of. So I went to the CD store.
Saturday night. There you go.
Yeah.
Within Temptation.
Yeah, I'll tell you my CD story after my CD store shopping story after you finish your new music experience.
Okay, and I got one more for you, and then we'll just real quick, because they're saying some new stuff in the chat we should check out. My other band I recommend is Lipz, Lipz. Have you heard of them, Paulie?
Heard the name, don't know their music.
Okay, I checked them out recently too. Another really good new generation metal band, just carrying on that 80s tradition of good melodic metal with good guitar playing and well-written songs. So go on YouTube also. Let's see if Johnny could bring up the logo for them. Lipz. Uh-oh. Dog's getting savage.
Yeah, Lemmy is starting to say, okay, it's getting close to 8 o'clock. Are we going out anytime soon?
There we go. Lipz. Lipz. So check them out. And
got a little bit of an EZO look to them.
Yeah, without being Asian, but yeah, very, very much
racist.
like EZO. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. It's the fact that they're Asian have to do with it.
Yeah, well, the fact EZO was from Japan might have something to do with it.
Oh, what? So everybody from Japan is Japanese? Our friend Jason McNamara is from Japan. He's not Japanese.
Wow, good one to pull out there. Good point. I went to a party outside tonight. Oh, yeah. There you go. So that's Lipz, and thank you, Johnny.
How many records do they have out?
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's their logo.
How many records do they have, Johnny? Is it
their
2?
logo?
It's really clusterfucked. It's not a great logo. It's trying to be 80s graffiti, but
you can't even read it.
Yeah, it looks too compressed. Show the logo.
Is it like Dirty Looks logo, where Dirty Looks was like
no
a splash of paint, but it was cool?
Dirty Looks you can read clearly, and so was Taiketo. Watch this. This looks like graffiti.
Lipz has the graffiti, the 80s graffiti style, but it looks like the death metal pile of twigs.
No, it's not. But I can't read any death metal logos pretty much.
That's
so look at that. That says Lipz.
That's awful. I know what it says because I know the name of the band. But if I saw that, I'd be like, "Who's Chap?"
I'd be like, Liaise?
Lap? What does that say?
Yeah,
gear? Is that gear? What does that say?
Gaz, probably Gaz.
His? Has?
I don't know what that says.
No, that's terrible. That's a terrible logo.
Yeah, and they're playing the 80s makeup shtick, which, again, it's all cool.
It's kind of the 80s makeup shtick. It's almost like a cross between the 80s makeup shtick and the sort of Marilyn Manson ghost thing. It's that sort of bondage, that
Motley Crue-ish kind of outfits.
Maybe, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And the eye makeup.
Yeah, it does look like Liar.
Yeah, right. Hal Face's Liar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
awful.
But yeah, it's not a great logo, guys. If you're fans of the show, you got to change that logo because you're a good band, and I want to support you. And I'm happy to give you guys a plug on the night. But what a shit logo.
It's not even goth too. Somebody suggested that they're goth. They're not really goth either. They're more S&M latex. Not quite sleaze.
kind of that futuristic dystopian.
Yeah, not cuts. Yeah,
Yeah,
little bit of Road Warrior in there, you know.
Yeah, but the songs are good. Johnny, how many albums do they have out?
Let's see.
I thought it was 2.
Why is it showing their songs?
Why would we care about
2.
their songs? I mean, they're only a band.
2 albums. Okay.
Scary Man and Psycho.
Okay.
Okay.
But check them out. Check them out on YouTube. Lips, LIPZ, good band. Let me know in the comments what you think of both Within Temptation and Lips, because I want to know what you guys and girls think. So leave it in the comments of the video, and of course, leave a thumbs up if you haven't yet, please.
Yeah, you know who they remind me of? Do you remember the
Go
band
ahead.
Flip?
The name, yes. The visual, no.
Hang on, let me see if I can grab. I think I have it. Hold on. Of course I have it. Why wouldn't I have it?
It's like Crabs. Of course you have it. It's the 80s. Yeah, and let's say.
I think these guys were from Minneapolis. Flip.
Okay.
And they got the makeup thing and sort of the goofy thing. The great thing about Flip is they had a song called Freak, which was kind of a good tune. And here's what they look like on the back.
And Flip, by the way, is it's a have a 2 pee-pee. It's a pee-pee. You like a pee-pee? It's a pee
with an extra pee-pee.
You like a pee-pee.
Flip is a cool band. One of the great things that Flip did, their song Freak was really well done and got some radio airplay, but they didn't really pop big. But they played a festival, and during the festival, they had played their set, or it was either before or after their set, I don't remember, but they flew a helicopter over the crowd, opened the door to the helicopter, and dumped Captain Crunch onto the crowd.
I love Captain Crunch.
It's awesome. It was it was just a cool thing to do. They just flew over the crowd in a helicopter and were just pushing tons of Captain Crunch out of the helicopter onto the crowd.
That reminds me of that stunt that we did as Popcorn the band. We wanted to get all the popcorn, but they were out. So we got a good deal on sauerkraut. And
I remember that.
It didn't go over well.
Yeah, that was I think we did that. I think we did that in Rio Linda, California.
Yeah, wasn't that like Bamboozle or something, or during the Bamboozle concert?
Yeah. Mullet. It was Mullet Fest side stage 2.
It was a great promotional idea, but it didn't go right. When we write a book about our exploits as Popcorn the band, there's a lot of good stories.
Well, a lot of those stories went untold. I don't think we ever really got the press coverage that we deserved during the heyday of the band.
Definitely not.
And I think the reunion tour, when it's put together, and that's what we're working on right now, is tour logistics.
For sure.
I think when those logistics are worked out and we're able to find a suitable travel facility for my calliope, I think we're going to be really ready to go. I think we'll be able to hit the biker circuit. We're going to be big at bike rallies, I think.
Sturgis. I want to play Sturgis again.
No, I meant bikers like Tyler and Schwinn.
Oh, okay.
Columbia.
Ross Apollo and
Huffy Thunder Roads. I think the Thunder Road Rally, I think, is what we're planning on playing.
Well, look,
as
usual, I will take any concert venue. I mean, I think we didn't get the airplay because Blue Rhino was so pretty, There you go. Popcorn the band.
That's it. That's the name of our album. We felt like it didn't need a title.
It's like Spinal Tap, how their album is, it's just black.
You know what that is. You look at that, you immediately say Popcorn. Hello. So it's on a record. It's on a record. It's Popcorn the band. Duh.
Yeah, clearly. Hello. I mean, it's self-explanatory. In fact, that's how our logo looks. In fact, so it's universal. In any language that says popcorn.
Yeah. It's very obvious. It's art. I mean, it's art. It's part of being an artist, Yeah. So the sauerkraut stunt didn't go over as well as their Captain Crunch stunt, but hey, look,
Or the veggie straw disaster.
God, please.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
I thought we'd never talk about that. I thought we agreed that one would die with
the
us.
pirate booty.
Here's the problem with that is, hang on a second. Let me look. I have.
Why could we Why could we never get a good deal on actual popcorn to throw out of a helicopter?
Hang on a second. Hang on.
And the Brussels sprouts thing, holy shit. People got hurt.
Oh.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and
What's today's date?
Today's the 19th.
We can't talk about this yet.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
All right. Legal thing.
Remember the what's that vegetable that makes your pee smell?
Brussels
Asparagus.
sprouts. Oh,
asparagus.
asparagus.
Remember the asparagus thing? That still smells. That's
Well,
still,
because the piss got in all our equipment. The piss got in all our equipment.
Well, I
remember the
in
asparagus
hindsight-
disaster. That stank.
In hindsight, we probably shouldn't have put that in our rider.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure they were reading it.
Errors, they do exist.
And I like brown M&Ms.
I like brown M&Ms in my popcorn.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to almost have a trail mix.
Ooh. Yeah, but asparagus doesn't go well in trail mix.
That would make common sense. But if they didn't read the rider, suddenly you saw it. There was asparagus.
Yep, I know. So anyway, you did your new music review thing.
Sure.
Look at that.
In other news, popcorn is delicious.
Popcorn, the food is delicious. Yeah.
We go live now to our correspondent, Johnny Beane.
Oh yeah,
Johnny
John
Beane
Bale says popcorn's amazing.
Wasn't someone supposed to get us no joke? Wasn't someone getting us a popcorn sponsor? Wasn't like Jay tied to someone who owned a popcorn company?
That would have been great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really would have.
Was mentioning it, yeah.
Nothing goes good with Bang energy drink like popcorn. Popcorn, the band, and the food. Go ahead, Paulie.
So as we've been locked down for 2 months now, a little over 2 months. A lot of states
I think it's 70 days now. Right?
Yeah, a lot of states are opening up again. I took my first trip to the CD store, the local CD store here, the local CD chain here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's called Zia Records. They sell new and used CDs, and they opened up, I guess, about a week ago. So I showed up there, and as soon as I walked in the door, the girl says to me, "Hey, excuse me, we're going to ask you to wear a mask." And I was like, so I thought I'd be a smartass. I go, "Well, do you have a mask?" And she goes, "As a matter of fact, we do." I'm like, shit. So I go over and I grab the mask and I put it on my massive skull and put the mask thing on, and I go shopping, and I come across a band that I never really took very seriously back when, because they just sort of came late and they got lumped in with a lot of the other bands that came out at the time.
Popcorn?
And then years later, I heard so many people talk about what a great band Broken Teeth was, which features a guy named Jason McMaster, who sang for Dangerous Toys. And so I found, he can't hear it. It'd be great if he could hear that, because that would drive him nuts. I found the first 3 Dangerous Toys albums on CD. I'd never bought any Dangerous Toys music. I only knew Teasin' and Pleasin' and Scared and Sportin' a Woody.
I know Sportin' a Woody very well.
So I actually went out and that was what I did. My first purchases of buying old new music, bands that I missed the first time around. The first 3 Dangerous Toys albums, and I would highly recommend those, both the debut Dangerous Toys plus Hellacious Acres and their third album called Pissed, which are all going to be re-released on David Ellefson from Megadeth's record label called EMP. EMP Entertainment is re-releasing all the old Dangerous Toys stuff remastered. So if you've been looking for all the old Dangerous Toy stuff, but you can't find anything but the first album, they will be available in stores again very soon. I happen to find the original pressings while doing my first CD shoppings. That is one of the signs that we're trying to get back to normal, is that I can actually go to a record store again, which is awesome.
Oh God, yeah. And you know what? We were talking about this with Amoeba Records. With Amoeba Records, we were talking about it, and Tower. A lot of people don't take the time. They just go right on Amazon. There's something about hitting the stores and looking through those CD racks or albums or whatever format you're into. And I love going to the used stores. Like in New York, there's Mr. Cheapo, and I'm sure a dozen others. But I love those looking through and flipping and finding those hidden treasures, stuff out of print or imports. Paul and I both love Japanese imports of a lot of bands. You know,
do you feel like your monologue is being interrupted by Johnny Beane's Foley? Foley artist Johnny Beane. My dog, just for the record,
he's at my crotch. He's at my crotch again.
For the record, my dog is not making that noise.
He's at my crotch again. No, no, no! Down, boy, down, boy. Come on.
Look at this. Lemmy wants in.
Stop!
Lemmy wants in. She never wants in. She's like, hey, wait, why is he getting all that attention?
Well, she knows we're on the air, is what it is.
Well, Lemmy's old. She's an old girl, so watching her trying to get in on this is kind of fun. She rarely wants to play tug of war because she's old and fat.
What's funny is hearing the little dog barks and seeing these two big shepherds. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
They're good dogs, but they can fuck up the house pretty good.
Oh yeah. Well, they could also fuck up a massage therapist pretty good.
I learned that the hard way. Well, if you'll notice, we didn't talk about this, but if you'll notice, there's a good bruise on my arm. If you can see that purple bruise.
Did the kid get away?
Oh, man.
That's from my dog clamping down while we're playing.
Oh man.
Yeah. So he doesn't screw around when he's playing. When he's serious. He's a good boy. He doesn't look vicious at all.
It's like you're checking his temperature. The way he's squealing. Jesus.
Nah, he doesn't. I wonder if I put my sound out here. Play those again, John.
Oh, look at it! Look at his face. It's like, what the fuck? There he goes.
He's looking at the speakers.
Is there a dog in there? Is there a dog in that fucking box?
What is it, buddy? Yeah,
I better not play the big dog.
Wait, no, play the big dog. See what happens.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay. We're about to go viral.
Whoa! What are you unzipping, Paul? What are you doing?
No. I'm just...
Oh. Wouldn't it be great for ratings if all of a sudden the dogs both like latched onto Paul and like ripped him to shreds because of this?
That's just trigger.
Oh jeez.
Oh my gosh.
I shut the speakers off. Yeah, no, it was weird watching him react to it though. I don't think he's ever heard any other little dogs barking or anything in the house.
And just to let you guys know, none of that was his dogs.
Yeah. No, it
was all Ned.
It's Johnny playing with sound effects.
It was all this guy back here.
Yeah,
Colleen's at home saying that both my dogs are nearing me to protect me from that audio. Right now, every dog is going on attack mode, ripping apart children everyone that's watching the show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
they're all triggered
now.
They're all triggered.
I don't know what it is, but that was their secret word. They're all CIA agents, and you've just activated all of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they can all understand that. Those are all words to them.
Yeah.
Amanda said her cat just shrugged and went to sleep. That's what cats do. They don't care. They don't care if you're in danger. Here's the thing. Right now, if you have a dog and you're in quarantine, your dog right now is thinking, oh my God, he loves me so much. He quit his job just to be with me all day, every day. And a cat right now is looking, I knew that idiot would get fired from that job.
Oh, let's see what happens here.
Yeah, cats don't care. What are you frying them?
Yeah, what is that?
Dude, it sounds like you're frying cats.
He's figured
like you just put them on a grill or something. That sounds like a woman.
Yeah.
me. Is that a fly? Is that Brundle? Is that Brundle fly? It's Brundle fly in the web. Help me. Help me.
Yeah, these dogs are pretty chill, unless they hear something around the house. I think they react more to smell than sound. These dogs they're used to weird sounds because it's my house.
Well, cut a fart and kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, you don't want that because they'll take that as a challenge. Oh, is that?
Jesus, what'd you have for breakfast? Brussels sprouts? I had a cabbage omelet. I had Brussels sprouts and milk.
You know what's the best part of all of this is just watching the glee with which look at how happy Johnny is.
Oh, that's horrible.
Johnny's like one of those kids that just got one of those fart machines, you know?
Yeah, he couldn't be happier right now. This is the best part of the show for him.
Because Johnny doesn't wind up saying a lot, you know. I mean,
good luck
it's
getting
like
a word in between us.
Yeah, I know. You know, Johnny's just like, yeah, you know. But like when he gets the sound effects machine going, that's it. He's in control. He's like, this may be Mancuta's night, but this is my show. It's my channel. My channel. I'm the boss. My name should be on that card too.
Oh, that's gross.
Speaking of cards, I think we should thank everybody that's involved in the show.
Huh?
I said,
oh yeah, we're
we should
late.
Thank everybody.
Yeah, are we good? Have we displayed enough bodily secretions for a Bang Energy drink to regret their sponsorship? Let's thank all our channel members: Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Richard Poole, Charlie S, Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Joe Christian, Nicole Mrazak, Sean Boland, Linny Lou, and Mary, Crazy Cook 678, Bozik, Julia Baldassari. Let's see, Baldassari. Sorry, Julia Baldassari, Robbie Johnston, False Flag, David Ennis, and Michael the Captain Smith. Hey, Kenny Dave. And also thank you to our channel members. Hold on.
Oh, is that a different slate?
That's a different slate. Do you want to?
Yeah, there's 30 of them.
Sure, I'll
We'll alternate. We'll alternate.
No, I got it. We'll give you a Hal Face and Thomas Santiago, Brian Spalding, some Dave Dude, Fender Guru, James Gum, Music Therapy Laz, Mr. BHB Jr., Ghost BC Rich, Frag 5150, Hugh Caldwell, William Bill Spruce, Jim Nicholas, Frank Corcoran, Connor Johnson 5150. And there's more.
But wait, there's more. I throw in the chamois, the Ginsu, and a bowl of OxyClean.
There isn't any more? That's everybody?
That's it? Is that everyone? Don't we read executive
The
producers again?
Don't the producers get involved in here?
Oh, okay.
Steve Carmichael.
There they are.
Johnny reluctantly takes part in this.
Johnny's like, all right, fine. We'd like to thank our executive
Everybody in
producers.
green.
Our executive producers, the big bosses: Charles Green, Mike Neese, Connor Johnson 5150, Robbie Johnston, Music Therapy Laz, Michael the Captain Smith, David Ennis, Thomas Santiago, and some Dave Dude.
Thank you.
And thank you to our sponsors, Swiss Picks, Bang Energy Drink, and thank you, iHeartRadio. We're proud to be on your medium.
Yes.
And thank you, of course, to our awesome audience. We love you. Wash your hands, be safe, be kind to each other. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, and leave comments. Let us know what you think of the bands we mentioned tonight or anything you think of the show. We do answer fan mail or hate mail, whatever you got.
Just remember, we'll probably be back same time next week for a nominal fee.
For a nominal fee. Johnny, right?
Yes.
Nominal fee.
Yes.
For a nominal fee. Let's do it on three, the three of us. 1, 2, 3. For a nominal fee. Oh, God, that was as good as our first popcorn recording.
Yeah, that's the kind of harmonies you can expect to hear with Popcorn the Band.
Can't
Coming
wait for that reunion.
Coming soon to a tour that we're just working on tour logistics.
Like a soggy condom on a birthday cake.
What?
Ah,
What kind of cake?
Fudge.
And Johnny is still with the flatulence.
There you go. Whoa! You know we've hit a new low when there's when the fart noises are the highlight of the show. You know we've hit a new low. Just when you thought I brought the quality of the show as low as it could go. That's it. Doesn't get any more unless I shit on my mic.
This is great. Beane is going to pass out from laughing.
This is the most fun Johnny has all week.
Look at him. He's getting dizzy now. He's laughing
He's
so hard.
tearing up. He's tearing up.
oh, okay.
All right. Are we good?
All right. See you guys. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys
on,
tomorrow.
Everybody. Rock on, everybody.
I'll see you guys over on Flipside's YouTube channel at 10 o'clock a.m.
10-inch cock AM.
Roll the credits.
Play that beautiful music. There's the tuba. There's my sousaphone.
Yeah.
This must be my solo. It's like the last note of the Muppet Show. Wow, that's a wet one.
We're still live, guys.
We're still live. Yeah. Baby.